Mic check testing 1 2 3. Mic check testing 1 2 3. What is going on, everyone, in the magical world of the internet? Why is my light crooked? You guys see that back there? No, I think I need to get that fixed still. Guys, I'm sick again. I don't know what to tell you. I've been trying my hardest not to be sick, but it manages to just keep happening. I spend time with children, and then I get sick. And yeah, I think I might need to swear off children altogether. You can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Mindy says she can hear me. If one person can hear me, then all of you should be able to hear me. Now you can. I bet you can also hear the music now too. Hope everyone is doing well out there today in the magical land of the internet, through the portal that is this camera, that we get to communicate with each other today. Let's have a great time today. But I am sick, guys. I don't know what is going on. I've got some like post-nasal stuff going on. I got a little bit of swollen throat going on, but I'm going to do my best to make today's show amazing, as I always try and do. Let's say some hellos, and I'm going to get everyone briefed on some pre-roll nonsense. Now is a great time if you have any e-commerce related questions that you would like to ask. Now is the best time to do it before we get started. We have 14 minutes till top of the hour where we're going to launch our show like we always do. And tonight's show is going to be a lot funner, a lot chiller than most shows. We've got some amazing offers for our patrons as well as non-patrons today too. And unfortunately, I didn't get the giveaway sorted out. I could probably get something put together real quick. I was thinking about just printing out the comments on that video and then like cutting them up and putting them into a bin or something. But I don't know. I've just been so slammed this week. So much stuff going on with my personal life. I've been meaning to go down to Fresno for somewhere in the area of about 4 weeks now, and I had all these Christmas gifts for these different families and kids that I would spend time with, some that I climbed with, some that were family friends, and I just had all this stuff piling up. So I finally went down on Friday, and I managed to get sick. So yeah, so between sickness and I'm doing a lot of work, I'm working with a bulk buyer on my pops. It's gonna be very, very interesting to see how that pans out. He just submitted an offer before the show, and I'm going to be taking a look at the inventory, and maybe I'll bounce some ideas off you guys, and you can let me know what you think about it. Because even in my bulk training video, what did I tell everyone? I told everyone that when you're working within quantity and you have a offer or a number or a scenario, when you're just not 100% positive, don't be afraid to ask an expert, or speak with other people who are within the know and see what kind of information you can get. Let's take a look at some of these comments. Lake Tahoe Gem, first one in the house today. Fantastic. Thank you for tuning in. I don't know if you're a patron or not. I know we see you in here all the time, but I don't keep track of the names within YouTube to Patreon anymore, but happy as always to have you, and I appreciate you being here early. Mindy Coy, the one and only, our resident Tupperware expert. Thank you for being here too. And I've actually got some Tupperware over here that I didn't show you this week. So you get a chance to see that here in a bit. Richard Eberhardt here as much as I can. I take it that you might be working again tonight when you say that. Mr. Exquisite, the one and only, is going to be running off and meeting a celebrity this week. Good for him. Fat Girl Sewing, thank you as always. Again, appreciate your viewer pledge each and every month. Thank you for that. Key Webco, I haven't seen you in a little bit. Happy to see you, buddy. I hope everything is well with you. I hope you had a prosperous holiday season. Maui Delights, pleasure to have you again. Thank you for coming back. Beth Bryant, one of my favorites. I hope you did get a chance to go back and check out last week's show. We had a really, really good closing bit on the show that you may personally enjoy. It was a lot of fun and a lot of deep discussion on that one. John Gabriel, hope you're doing well today. We're coming into that new week. I know you said you had some big business plans going on, and I do hope that they panned out for you. Who else do we got in the crowd here today? We listen, you talk. Thanks, John. I appreciate that. Sorry you were sick. I woke up sick yesterday too. I feel your pain. This is the worst. And, I get it that, we're all going to get sick and whatnot, but I had gone close to 6 years and I'd only gotten sick once. And this is probably my third or fourth time over the last 6 months that I've been sick. But I'm fighting this one hard. I'm fighting this one vehemently. Tons of medication, tons of hearty food, really trying to pretend that I'm not sick. I even went out in the field today to do some work, not literally in a field, but you know what I mean. But thank you for your thoughts. I appreciate that greatly. Who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody earlier today. I was telling them that I had a really, really, really great sales week. I don't know if anyone else's week has been this good, but I've done more this week in total gross as well as total unique individual pieces being sold this 1 7-day period than I've had in the last 52 weeks. All of 2019, this 1 week is blowing it clean out the water. I'm probably on track to do maybe 2,500 over this 7 days. It is nuts. And I want you to know too, historically, I used to do about $10,000 a month across eBay and Amazon, but obviously when I started the show, you lose 30 hours worth of reselling each week, your volume is going to go way down. So I'd only been averaging anywhere between $500 to $1,000 a week in gross sales, especially after the move in 2019. So I'd have a very big, powerful week absolutely out of nowhere is really, really nice. It's motivating me to want to list more items, which means we might be looking at more items this week than we did last week, especially because it's a lot easier on me. It's a lot more low energy sometimes when I'm just sharing items opposed to doing the news with you. Let's see who else we got here. Pam's Flip Life. Evening, everyone. If you haven't checked out Pam's Instagram, she actually posts up some pretty cool stuff, and she's been getting some traction on there. So follow my Instagram, some guy from Fresno. That's my personal one if you want to check me out. The Reseller Roundup Instagram, and then also Pam's Flip Life. She has a pretty cool Instagram. And normally we don't let people promote their Instagrams ever, but if you have a reseller-related Instagram and you want to drop it in the comments right now, go ahead. Not a problem. Let people follow you. Steven, S&S Bargain Barn. That is a mouthful. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being in here. We're going to be jumping live here in about 9 minutes. And again, if anyone has any reseller-related questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Roger says he's been busy. I feel you on that one, my friend. Mr. Exquisite. Mindy took me to Tupperware school yesterday. Thank you, Mindy. Yeah, Mindy is very sharp on Tupperware. Your intro music is an earworm. I don't even know what that means, but I hope that you enjoy the intro music. I like the intro music. It was difficult to find good music that we don't have to pay royalties on as well. Awesome, Beth. I'm happy that you tuned in for that. It was a good one. It was really good. It was, and the thing is, I had some people message me after, and just to give me that welfare check, and I appreciate that. I just want to, echo to everyone. I am really good. I mean, I guess everyone has their difficult days of depression sometimes, especially within an industry where you're working solo, but I am very, very good. But I do appreciate those who messaged me after who just, I guess, had a mild concern when I was speaking on the topic, because most people won't casually speak on the topic of mental health, but I just feel it's important to touch base on for those who are in need. Zaida! Hi, happy to be here again. Happy to have you, Zaida. Yeah, it was really, really good talking with you this week. I am very, very pleased with the progress that we made on your business this week. Those of you who don't know, if you see the little info above my head, we have different Patreon tiers. And $5 is just like, hey, show your support for the show. You appreciate what we're doing, and we appreciate your $5 because it helps. And then we have the $20 tier, which gets you like your group chat where you get to interact with everyone. You get one-on-one access to me. You get really cool perks and other incentives just for being in that tier. And then we have our $50 and $100 per month tiers. And I know, I get it. Some of you are looking at Jay, why am I going to pay you $50 a month just to talk to you for an hour when you come on air for 10 to 12 hours a week anyways and talk to me? It's because I get deep into people's businesses, and we don't just do the basic stuff that some of these other trainers do, where they just look over your store and then they say fix your photos and send you on your way. Now obviously some people need photo help, but we're actually currently working her area and developing it out. So I was literally on the phone talking with thrift store owners in her area and cultivating relations, and we're building spreadsheets and everything, and we're literally working hand in hand. Then I have another gentleman that I'm working with. We're creating new graphics and we're doing some targeted marketing campaigns in this area, and really taking things a bit further than what I can do on air, because a lot of the stuff that I do, it's very catch-all, but I literally have files for each person that's at the $50 or $100 a month tier, and we work together hand in hand to make sure that their business works. And even yesterday, I had a great experience with one of our patrons who was worried that they were going to get taken for $240. And I literally did a 3-way PayPal phone call and got all of the stuff notated on the account and reached a resolution. It took about 40 minutes, but that's what we do here. So if you need that level of help or assistance, or even if you don't think you need it, but you want to scale your brand, it's literally why I do it. And that's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to be able to work hand in hand with maybe 50 to 100 people and monitor and give great advice to help their personal businesses scale up. Because everyone who's working hand in hand with me should be doing $4 grand a month, okay? Like, no BS. And if you're not, there's a kink in the system somewhere. Because if I can do that and I'm doing all of this, okay, everyone should be able to do that. So, but yeah, Zaida, it was great talking with you. I'm genuinely excited to see the progress you make coming in the next month. It's going to be a lot of fun. Money from Mars. I'm here, and on time. Yay. I'm happy for you being on time, too. Thank you for tuning in, Money from Mars. And if I missed anyone, I apologize. I really, really do. Thank you, Pam, for putting out those links. Truly appreciated. Charlie Hustle, it's like John Carpenter film in here, music-wise. I'm not familiar with John Carpenter. And Daniel, 2500, hello to you as well. So yeah, the music that we went with is a bit of like synthwave, outrun, a little bit of lo-fi type feel to it. There's a little bit of fun stuff. But it's difficult to find great music that you can use without having to pay an arm and a leg. And if you guys in the early crew want to leave a like on this video, it'll definitely help have it show up in other people's subscription feeds right now. So rather than save it for later, go ahead and issue it now. I'm not going to lie, I'm already feeling winded. This sickness, whew. And I will be stopping to blow my nose a ton today. Speaking of which, there we go. Pam, I got your message. Just tell him to DM me, okay? I spoke with him previously on my timeline, and I basically explained it to him, but yeah, just tell him to DM me. As it is almost time. but I do hope everyone is doing well. If you didn't catch last week's show, it was a good one. I recommend checking it out. We covered some interesting issues. I could even expand upon that show from last week for easily another hour. I was thinking about all the facets that I didn't really dive into last week, just some of the minutia, and partly because we have another eBay call coming up, which I'm really pumped for, because not that I'm excited by chaos or anything, but this will be the second one in a row without a CEO, so it's probably gonna be Scott Schenkel on the call again. This is an eBay shareholder call, and I also want to hear a little more color about some of the answers that Jordan Sweetnam gave the public, and see if he's going to be paying for any of those answers, because a couple of them were not necessarily great for the shareholders, to say that we're considering not charging that fee for cancellations. Matthew Eason, hey guys, I'm here. Can't chat and watch show, but I made it. What's the point in being here then, buddy? This is the show to catch. I was actually just talking about you a moment ago, so happy to have you. But if you can't catch it now, definitely catch the replay. Don't forget to leave your like while you're here, of course. Charlie Hustle, now we've moved on to a mix of elevator and 97's porn music. No, I don't think that's what it is. No, this is upbeat, I don't know, like anthem music. I guess that's the best way to put it. Yeah, but I mean, let me ask you, okay? Here's a great question for you. What music do you play before a e-commerce YouTube show with a guy wearing pink pineapples on his shirt? What do you play? What's the correct genre for that type of music? So I either play things that I enjoy listening to, or just I mean, because there's no way I can please everyone. I wouldn't change a thing. Thank you. Oh man, Eye of the Tiger. God, if I could do it without getting copy struck, I totally would. Believe it or not, we've had our money, our advertising money on our episodes stripped away. If you wonder why our intro is different, it's because the original creator of the song decided to copy strike our channel. So that's why we got that new intro, guys. Look at that. Hey, I think it's top of the hour, so I think we're going to do that thing. And Charlie, trust me, I enjoy the banter, and I will never take offense. Remember, with jokes, the intent is what matters. Okay? Intent matters. Let's get this party started. What is going on, guys? This is Jay Kraft here with the Facebook group Bowl Around Pickers Lounge, coming at you live again from beautiful Bakersfield, California. Today is January 12th, 2020, and we have a huge show in store as always. I'm actually lying to you. We do not have a huge show. We have a tiny show. Not a whole lot of news going on. I'm going to be completely honest. We're going to be talking about Amazon taking a quick stab at the browser extension Honey just after the recent acquisition by PayPal, as well as Ruby Lane, the antique marketplace, increasing its prices and becoming more and more like eBay. And who would have ever thought it? A brand trying to mimic eBay's business model. On top of that, we're going to be talking about your holidays within 2020, and we're going to be looking a little bit outside of the normal reach that people talk about when we talk about the holidays in a year, and they talk about Christmas and maybe Halloween. We're going to be doing a little bit more of a thorough breakdown and what you might want to be thinking of when it comes to buying during certain times of the year. It's just good things to know. On top of that, guys, we're going to be taking a look at the pickups. I got 4 massive bins of pickups over here to my side, and depending on how quickly we get through the news and how I'm feeling, because those of you who fast forwarded through the pre-roll don't know this, I am sick yet again. This makes 4 times within 6 months, and I think it's because I've spent time with children. Yeah, I went and visited some families in Fresno this last Friday, and 4 kids with one family and 2 kids with another family, and brought them Christmas gifts I didn't have time to bring them at the end of December 2019. And I'm pretty certain one of those little germ factories got me sick, but no harm, no foul. They are adorable, and they were just the sweetest little things ever. I'll even show you guys one of the pictures of me with the kiddos. I'm sure the mother won't mind. Let's see, and they're so cute. Let's see. This is good old Damien and Serena. Let that focus in there. You can see them there in the background. And I brought them stuff before. They're the cutest little things ever. But one of those little germ factories got me sick, so we're going to do our best to power through. So if I'm a little low energy, you guys know why. But if I get onto something that upsets me, we'll bring that energy level right back up. Hello to you, Dana. Hello to you, Perf Finds. Hello to you, Yellow Brick Reselling. Thank you all for being here tonight. It looks like we have about 40 people in the house, which I'm always happy to see. I also want to give a couple of thank yous as well. Firstly, I want to thank our newest patron, Melanie. Melanie, you have not contacted us back on Patreon, and I don't know where you are at on Facebook. If you'd like to take advantage of the perks that you're able to receive, please contact us on Facebook. If you'd like to leave a comment right now, one of our admins will work with you to help you get in touch with our group and get you plugged in to all of the perks that you're eligible to receive. I'd also like to give a big thank you to Pam, Mindy, Richard, and Brandy, our admins for this evening, who are helping to make sure that our comment section stays clean, because I know some of you have some filthy mouths. Somebody was talking about some prawn before the top of the hour, but I guess my music is questionable. Hello to you, Rhiannon, as well. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Guys, if you missed out on last week's show, we talked about Jordan Sweetnam. He answered 5 questions from the community board, and we tore into his answers a little bit, and there's going to be a little bit of extended coverage on that coming towards the end of the month. On top of that, we were supposed to be selecting our winners for a giveaway. We had, again, technical issues. There's a prize wheel that's supposed to show up. I'd like to get it to work, but worst case scenario, I'm just going to pull manual pieces of paper from a bin. We talked about scams in 2020, things that you need to know, as well as the biggest sales in eBay in 2019. And on top of that, we talked about the implications, the pros and the cons of USPS going towards privatization, which could still happen by the end of the month. It'll be interesting to see. And I know there's some naysayers out there who are for it, and there's some that are against it. But the reality is a good push towards privatization and creating an actual competitive marketplace could see reductions in rates. I mean, why wouldn't a company like USPS or FedEx, given the opportunity to compete with first class, why wouldn't they? Okay, so stuff like that could happen. Go back and check last week's show if you want a little bit more information about it. Maui Delights says, I'm a member of your Facebook group. Now, Maui Delights, I don't know if you're the Melanie who just signed up, because I can only see so much. So if that is you, then please message me or one of our admins after the show, and we'll get you thrown into our group chat as well. So those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, it's a Patreon program that we have, which we'll touch base here on just one second. So guys, usually before we get things going, Fat Man the Flipper, thanks for tuning in. Before we get going, I always like to talk about something going on in my life beyond the sickness and beyond the sales that we were talking about during the pre-roll. I want to talk about something really important. It's called sourcing smarter. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I had gone through a pretty rough patch of sourcing. And I know we all have that happen to us, where we're just going out to thrift stores and it feels like we're just spinning our darn wheels. We get there, we give it our best effort, we get back in the car, and we either have 0 or 1 items for an entire thrift store visit. And when you go to 2 or 3 or 4 in a row and that happens, you may want to ask yourself, okay, is it really the market that's causing this to happen, or have I fundamentally changed something that I'm doing myself? And I had come to the realization that I was sourcing too quickly, okay? Because I've gotten to a point where I know the types of items that I want to find. I know plenty of different categories. I know what's going to be worth something, what's not going to be worth something. I have this, not necessarily like a bravado or some type of like machismo going on, but I feel like I know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm pretty smart about the game of reselling at this point. But I went back out there and I said, you know what? I need to slow down, like really slow down. When was the last time you saw me with glassware on this channel? When was the last time you saw me pull up a pair of shoes? When was the last time you saw me bring textiles on air? It wasn't very often. I said, I have to slow down and I have to assess these categories better. I have to source smarter. I need to pay attention more to what I am doing. And what really brought this on initially was when I realized just how poorly my roommate was doing at sourcing. And again, this isn't a knock on Daniel. I know we knock on him often here on air, but I went ahead and gave him the same advice too. Forgive me, guys. I am sick. This is the most talking I've done all day today. So I went to him and I said, Daniel, you really need to slow down, okay? Because we would go through a swap meet, and I would be maybe 2 rows into the swap meet. And we're referring to rows, we're referring to swap meets or flea markets, rows of vendors and booths. I'd be 2 rows in to the swap meet of maybe 10 or 12 rows. And he calls me and says, hey, I'm done. I'm going to head out towards the car. I say, how on God's green earth are you done already? And he's like, I looked at everything already. There's nothing else left to get. No. There's no way you've looked at everything because I am 2 booths in. I'm a far better reseller than you. I still have plenty of money in my pocket and I've built some great contacts. My backpack is full. Okay. I've got 2 bags by my side. I could even use a hand carrying stuff back to the car. There's no way you are done already. It's just not possible. So I load up everything, get it into the car, come back the next day, hit the swap meet again, find even more stuff, hit it again the following day, 3 days in a row, Friday night, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, find even more stuff. And I still have some of that stuff here today, and we're going to be looking at it. Some of these items I've listed up already. I don't know if you remember the dominoes from last week that I paid $1 for. They've sold for $38 already on eBay, and they were only online for about 4 days. And this was an item that he had told me that he had seen on Friday night. He had gone through that bin, and it was Saturday morning that I went in there and bought it. Okay, so it's important to understand that you have to slow down, regardless of how good you think you are. Okay, slow down. So as I'm going through thrift stores now, I changed my entire approach. I walk 1 step to the right and I stop and I'm scanning an entire section, top to bottom, really assessing it, looking, pivoting my head, making sure I'm not missing anything at all. Okay. If I see an interesting looking cup, if I see an interesting looking pair of shoes, I'm really slowing down. And then once I've got that section processed, I'm taking 1 big step to the right and I'm doing the exact same thing again. It's a very slow and very laborious process. And I went from going to thrift stores and getting 1 or 2 items to filling up half a cart again, just like I used to do, back before I started complaining about stores not being as good. What had actually happened was I just wasn't trying as hard as I was historically trying before because I feel I didn't need to. Okay. Even though I raised my cost basis and said I'm not going to buy an item that's going to sell for less than $20, which each person their own, I still need to remember the fundamentals of what I'm doing and not lose track of the process. It's very, very easy to get into these cycles where we I don't know, we just stop trying as hard. So now I'm at a point where I'm slowing down again and I'm assessing each individual buy. I picked up these candle holders, okay? And initially, I wasn't going to buy these personally. And with the thanks of Mindy within group chat, she was able to figure out exactly what these were. All I had at the time was the brand Smith & Hawken on the back. She was able to tell me that the store or this brand may be becoming discontinued here soon. And I went online and I looked, and people are actually buying these things. They're buying them from anywhere between $20 to $25+. People are selling them in lots of 6. Now, if I had 1, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I have a dozen of these things. I have the rest of them downstairs right now. And I even went to Daniel and I said, Daniel, I'm like, there's money here. Do you want these? Because they fall under my cost basis, but I would still take them because they're quantity. He said, no. And he ended up buying a hat instead. Okay. He bought a $2 hat that's going to sell for $13 or $14. Okay. Not much money to be made. This will sell for $20 to $25. I can ship it cubic, possibly even first class. I'm going to weigh it out really quick. 13.6 ounces, which means I can actually get this out first class if I just put it in the correct box. Rather than taking the opportunity to buy 11 of these, an item with an historical track record, he went ahead and took the easy item. He took a Kingdom Hearts hat, has great traction, has great sales velocity, But he has a tendency to do this. He has a tendency to take the easier of the paths. I have to remind everyone, okay, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme, okay, when it comes to reselling and being an e-commerce seller. And I think specifically with new people that there's a certain expectation they're going to make a certain amount of money very, very quickly. And I even had somebody today that I was speaking with, and I was explaining how, a good seller will move 1% of their inventory each day. So if you have 200 items online, you're going to sell 2 items. If you have 500, you'll sell 5. If you have 1,000, you'll sell 10. And by building up your inventory, and specifically if you're able to get high quality one-offs, especially in quantity, okay, it's going to make your job easier because you're winning by quantity. And we talked about this in our bulk buying video as well. But for me, if you've seen some of my sales as of recent, I've had some glorious big dollar, $300, $400, $500 sales this week, but a lot of it's that one-off stuff, okay? And it's not me getting rich quick. Yes, I've had an incredible week, but it's about money over time, okay? I'll buy something today, and it's okay if it doesn't sell for a year. I'm fine with that. And if you want long-term success within this industry, don't be afraid to buy 1,000 items. Okay. Some are going to sell the week you list them, like those dominoes. Some are going to take a month, like some of the trading cards, and some are going to take a year. Okay. Like 11 different candle holders. Be creative about how you list. Start being willing to broaden your horizons and really slow down when you do your sourcing. It has made a world of difference in regards to the amount of goods that I've gotten. And frankly, I've actually done less work by going slower because I don't have to go to as many stores to get the same amount of inventory. I don't have to walk as far in the swap meet because I'm getting more value out of each booth I go to. And frankly, I'm building higher quality connections with different vendors and different stores that, as well as I do, a high quality connection will pay dividends month after month after month after month after month down the line. So Pam says, long tail is fine, but shorts are my bread and butter items. And you're going to find both. But here's the thing. Some buyers will not buy long tail because they only want short-term gain. And here's the problem with that. You will spend the rest of your life working and not being able to take a vacation because you're going to continually need those short-term items. But when you fill your store and you get over 1,000 pieces of long tail, you're going to continually have sales coming in. Some are going to be short, some are going to be long, but you're always going to have revenue coming in on a week by week basis. So don't be afraid of an item that's going to take a year or two, especially if you're getting it for pennies on the dollar. But as Pam's saying, do a little bit of each, okay? Because nobody goes out and specifically says, I'm only looking for long tail. We're going out looking for profits. But just remember, scared money isn't smart money, okay? So don't be afraid to spend $5 to make $100 a year from now. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, guys, I just wanted to cover that for you real quick. Let's go ahead and get moving on with today's news. First off, let's go ahead and thank all of our patrons with an extra special thanks to Zyda, Pam, Matthew, Ashley, Anna and Joe, Lee James, Brandy, Rob, and John. Man, look at all those fantastic top-tier patrons, as well as all of our other patrons. Look at all these other lovely names down here as well. Thank you to all of our patrons for making this possible. If you're interested in receiving some one-on-one support from myself, as well as a wonderful panel of seasoned, experienced resellers, as well as getting some great free merchandise and, one-on-one conference calls and discussions regarding your store and your brand and what we can do to increase your profits, visit our link at the bottom of that card, patreon.com/Bolarama. I know we bring it up every single week, but your funding is what makes this possible. And we're really trying to scale things up in 2020 and have a really, really big year. So thank you to everyone for making that possible. First story up for today. We're going to be talking a little bit about, what are we talking about today? Let's see. Is this going to work for me? There we go. Amazon versus Honey. They're duking it out on a 1v1 battle, guys. Now, Amazon, obviously, the giant e-com giant, missed out on their opportunity to purchase Honey. And I don't necessarily think that Amazon was interested in buying Honey, but I think on the back end that there's a little bit of worry now that a company like PayPal is the one that owns Honey. PayPal, if those of you who don't know, is a direct competitor to Amazon. Because if you go to Amazon to try and buy something right now, good luck using PayPal. It doesn't exist on the platform, and it's been that way since launch. Amazon has understood the benefits of doing in-house payments since they began. It's one of the big differentiating factors between eBay, who has historically used PayPal, and look how difficult it has been for the two to separate. Okay. And, even Devin Wedding himself had said, eBay is one of the few sites out there where you are starting your transaction on one site and then you're going to another to be able to do your payment and then coming back to the original. And it frankly doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, when the two companies were one, sure. But as I was saying, Amazon doesn't like playing ball with PayPal. And when Honey went through and was acquired by PayPal, and those of you who don't know, Honey is the search engine extension. We've talked about them on the show many times before. The goal of Honey is to help buyers save money on purchases that they were already planning on making. Everything from Domino's Pizza to buying a graphic novel off of Amazon, all of that's covered through Honey's browser extension. Basically go to the site, punch in your stuff, yada, yada, yada. It says, hey, we found a coupon, and plugs it in. Well, Amazon, being the sneaky people that they are, they made it just this last week when you were going to the Amazon site and you were attempting to do your browsing and your shopping, they popped up a notification on screen basically saying, hey, this extension you have on your computer is considered malware and it's tracking your activity on the site. It's tracking your buying habits. And we just want to make sure that you're aware of that. And this is something that has never been done by Amazon before, and it only happened after the transaction happened, or only happened after the acquisition of Honey had occurred. Amazon issued a statement saying, our goal is to warn customers about browser extensions that collect personal shopping data without their knowledge or consent. And Honey, in a well-worded response, said, we only use data in ways that directly benefit Honey members, helping people save money and time and in ways they would expect. Our commitment is clearly spelled out in our privacy and security policy. Now, we've been sponsors before with Honey, and we even still have an affiliate link. Beth right here is saying salty Amazon, and that's pretty much what I think it is. Now, the thing is that's important to understand is that when you're looking at Honey from the perspective of Amazon, you say, okay, cool, it's a browser extension, people are saving money, whatever, we don't care, okay? We don't care. It's not a big deal to us. Now, when you're looking at Honey, when it's being owned and controlled by PayPal, that's a different story. Okay, because now you have the number one merchant of dollars here in America, the number one mover of currency here in America, tracking data in real time on your e-commerce site. That's where the issue comes into play. It's one thing when it's a small tech play, data gathering company. It's another thing when it's PayPal that's doing it, one of Amazon's biggest competitors. Now, after this happened, Honey went through and they disabled drop list off of their extension, which was a piece that would go through and monitor changing prices on the platform over time. But they also, as they did that, they reiterated, they said, hey, this is not a security risk. Okay, we just basically want Amazon to back off of this position. But the whole thing about this is it's just pretty much Amazon being a little bit of a bully, Amazon being a little bit upset that they missed out on this opportunity to gather so much data. And those of you who logged into your PayPal at any point this week, you did see this big orange banner. We reported about a week and a half ago on our business page, this big orange banner promoting the merger of the two companies together. And you're going to see the Honey entity pick up millions of new clients over the next week or month as the integration starts happening for them. It's a massive data play, and it's probably one of the largest data plays that's going to happen in America over this few year period, with the exception of TikTok, of course. A couple of picker says, hotel rooms too, you used it for the last time, money off with Honey. Yes, that's the big play that Honey had for them. The big advantage is that they were connected with so many merchants. I think it was something like 20,000 different merchants and brands. They had some type of deal with them. And if you're a web-based company, you would be foolish not to want to be a part of that. It's going to be interesting to see too where the chips are going to fall on this. As far as discounts are concerned. And I think we're going to start seeing some type of connection between brands that are leaving Amazon and deciding to do their own retail plays direct to consumer. We're talking brands like Nike, brands like, what's that one? North Face, that have pulled away from Amazon. They're doing direct to consumer on their own private sites. I could see them doing hand-in-hand business with Honey to try and generate more sales that direction. I could see it being valuable. Pam says she used it on Newegg. Was this in 1988? When was the last time anyone went to Newegg? Come on now. Mindy Coy says like eBay X, right? Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But like I said, it's a very, very slow news week this week, and there's not a whole heck of a lot going on. But I felt that this was something important to touch on, just because I don't want anyone freaking out and thinking like, oh my God, I have Honey, my computer's at risk. Jay, why did you tell me to use Honey? Honey, as far as we know, is a completely secure extension for your browser. They're not gathering any credit card data or anything like that. Continue to use Honey if it's saving you money. It's something that you enjoy. If you want to use our affiliate link, we earn $5, I believe, after you make a purchase on there using Honey, even though you're just using discount codes. You're not actually spending any extra money. So if you'd like to help the show, that's one way to do it. We'll find you a link. It's on our Facebook page. We're not pushing affiliate links anymore because we're trying to clean up how we do our news here. Up next in news, what do we have going on? Ruby Lane. Ruby Lane. Some people aren't familiar with what Ruby Lane is, and I don't blame you, but it is a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous website. Here, let me see if we can pull it up for you in real time right now. Let's see what we can do. Do I have a browser extension? Now let's see. Window capture. There it is. Okay, so this is Ruby Lane. This is what the website looks like. Absolutely beautiful site. They specialize in antiques and collectibles, and these super, super clean photos and super clean display and interface. I mean, most sites would want to look this nice. And when you look at this comparative to an eBay or comparative to an Amazon, it very much so is a visual shopping experience. So cool looking site. If you haven't checked it out, by all means do that. They're considered one of the best as far as a trusted marketplace, and they won multiple slots in, multiple slots in the e-commerce awards for 2019 in regards to best consumer experience, best overall shopping experience, best customer service. They won quite a lot of the awards. Also, while I'm on the topic too, e-commerce Bytes will be releasing their 2019, or excuse me, they won in 2018. They will be releasing their 2019 best of the best e-commerce sites here sometime within the next, I believe, 48 to 72 hours as well. The picture software on Ruby is great. Yes. Yeah, they have some solid software that they're using over there. And Pam, I'm going to go ahead and issue you one whoosh, courtesy of Charlie Hustle. Go ahead and send that over to you as soon as we get a chance. So Ruby Lane, historically the antique collectible site, had originally proposed a rate increase, and they didn't go about it the best way. They said that rather than increasing the price for the seller, we're going to increase the price from the buyer. Now, I know what you're thinking outside looking in. If eBay was to do something like that and say, hey, we just want to charge more money, okay? But we're already charging the sellers a ton. We can't even deny that we're charging them that much. How would you feel if your customers had to pay a 1%, and we're going to call it a buyer's premium, which is a word that's generally used at live auctions? And Ruby Lane being an antique dealer, it's more apt for them to use phrasing like buyer's premiums. Now, if you're on eBay and eBay came to you and said, hey, we don't want to raise your price, we just want to pass the cost along to the buyer. Okay, so we're going to raise things 1%. Okay, would you be okay with that? What about 2% or 3%? Or in some instances, when we're looking at sales tax, 10%. Okay, but just as far as a buyer's premium. So what happened was Ruby Lane came and said, okay, we're going to issue a 2.95% cost to the buyer as a buyer's premium to cover our expenses that we're dealing with regarding tax and administration cost here, which on the surface, I guess makes sense. Anytime a company has to start spending more money to do stuff, they don't want to affect their bottom line. They would like to remain as profitable as they had been historically, but sometimes there's only so many margins that you can cut. I mean, I'm sure if eBay has to spend an extra $20 million to do business, the exact same type of business that they did last year, they're going to want somebody to pay it that isn't themselves. They're going to want somebody to jump up and pay that price for them. So what ended up happening was they instituted this on November 14th. And we didn't cover it because, well, how many of you are crying out about Ruby Lane? Okay. Nobody really uses that site within the community that I even know. I don't know anyone who has a Ruby Lane store personally. But I guess at this point now, it's more of an interesting thought experiment regarding how you would feel if that happened with other platforms. Now, they implemented this November 14th, and it lasted till January 1. And then they realized, man, these sales have gone in the tank. Okay, they have gotten bad, and they went ahead and nixed it. And then they sent out a survey to everyone, and they asked everyone, hey, what do you want to happen? Okay, and as far as I'm concerned, it was one of those a little bit too late to really make it meaningful. But historically, they have contacted the sellers, and they sent out these surveys, and they said, hey, tell us what you want. We're going to give you the best example. Okay. And I think that's a great way of doing it when you're working on a smaller scale, just so that we have everything in perspective. Okay. Just so that we can have a clean idea of perspective. Ruby Lane, the site, for as well known as it is, only has 1,900 sellers on it currently. Now at their peak, I've seen them over 3,000 sellers, and the number might even be higher than that. Now, if you think that's small potatoes, I want you to keep in mind that even though the site has so few sellers, there's hundreds of thousands of items online. Why? Because, well, it's antiques. And a lot of antique dealers and a lot of antique brokers have thousands of items on hand, and, well, it's the nature of the market. The supply is superseding the demand for these types of goods currently. Okay, and I feel like we're going to continue to see these downturns coming over time. So they issued the email out and they said, hey, tell us what you think, tell us what you're going to do. Man, did somebody just come in with 3 accounts and leave me 3 dislikes because I talked about Ruby Lane poorly? Holy cow. Guys, show those people what's up. Just go and leave us some likes. It helps us out with what we're doing. Kind of scares away the haters as well. I still don't understand why some people exist just to do scummy nonsense. Daniel 2500 says, and if you're a seller in California, it'll be 30%. Yeah, our taxes are off the chain. Did you hear? Okay, an unpopular opinion. Did you hear our governor Gavin Newsom decided to give $1.4 billion to help solve the homeless crisis here in California? $1.4 billion. That equates to little under $5,000 per person. It's mind-blowing what he's looking to do. And today he reevaluated his number. He said $750,000. Zivik Chen, thanks for the information. Keep it up. Rarely there's a YouTuber has this much useful info to share. I believe that's Zachary. Thanks, Zachary, for tuning in. I appreciate having you here. We were mentioning you earlier. We were talking a little bit about that pop action, and I think that this is a great time for you to pop by and say hello, because we're talking about the supply and demand of the antiques market and how the market is somewhat seeing a bit of that downturn right now. And I've personally said in a bulk buying training video that I was doing in regards to pops that we're starting to see the beginning portion of the downturn with the pops economy as well. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to go kaputs today, and I'm not one of those far off dreamers who believes that the pop economy is going to last another 20 years. I would certainly say that anyone who's within the know, who's being smart about what they're doing, will have at least another year or 2 to play within this market before we really start seeing the effects of, wallet fatigue and collector fatigue starting to set in. And, I know a lot of people like to use the casual statement. They'll say it's Beanie Babies all over again. Well, wherein the reality is, it is. Okay, it really is Beanie Babies, but this time it's far, far, far worse than Beanie Babies because there's so many more people who are holding this inventory personally. They have this inventory on hand that they're holding on to, and it's not available for public sale in the same way that antiques and Beanie Babies were when they were within their heyday. So it's going to be interesting to see. But like I said, there's still time to play within this market. It's not completely kaput yet. Give me one second, guys. My PC, I hear it whirring because I got so much stuff running in the background. But thank you so much for that $5 super chat, buddy. It's truly appreciated. Let me take a look at some of these comments while I fix some of these issues going on. Let me see if I can minimize this and save some bandwidth. There we go. Let's see. Record high budget this year. Yeah, no, the budget is a little bit nutty. I know that during his inaugural year last year, he definitely tried to overreach. But it's all play money, honestly. The way that they allocate money, high speed rail, the homeless initiative. I mean, homelessness here in California, those of you who don't know, went up 16.1% just in California alone last year. And I remember myself when I went from Fresno to Bakersfield. I remember when I came to this town, I came here and I thought to myself, I'm like, this is so much better because there's less homeless people here. And I want to be clear, I have nothing against homeless people. I understand that there's a whole host of reasons that cause people to end up homeless. Okay. My thing is that when I am leaving and I'm going to go do my work day and I want to go about and have just a reasonable quality of life experience within my own hometown, when I see a certain level of, hardship everywhere I go, it becomes very difficult for me to burden. And when I moved to Bakersfield, I felt like a little bit of that weight had been lifted. Everything seemed a little bit more normal, and it wasn't as bad as, let's say, San Francisco, for instance. But over the last 12 months myself, I noticed the incline starting to happen, and I wasn't sure if it was in my head or not. I'm like, is this really as bad as I think it is? And then when the numbers came out, and I can promise you there's going to be even newer numbers after the census is complete, I was truly taken aback with how bad things actually were. But yeah, 16.1% is insane. Let's take a look at some of these other comments. Pam says, I read an article a few days ago that antique furniture prices are dropping from a lack of interest. Yep. And I'll be honest with you too. Here's the thing. Okay, I meet so many people on a weekly basis who have incredible pieces. We're talking like old theater posters, old vinyl signs, old ceramic signs, just these great, great pieces. And they tell me, my kids don't want this. They don't want any of this stuff. And we're getting to a point now where we're seeing these antique stores that have $1 million or $2 million worth of inventory sitting there, and no one wants the stuff. It doesn't matter what the price point is on some of it. If it doesn't have some form of aesthetic value today to the consumers that are looking for those types of things, we're going to see a continual downturn on their pricing till they get to rock bottom. And this is what I explain to people sometimes too, is that just because it's old doesn't mean it's worth anything, which I think we already have established that. But I want you to think of all the things that were highly sought after when you were a child, okay? When you were a kid growing up, the things that everyone wanted to have, and what are they worth today? There's going to be plenty of examples of things that are absolutely worthless today that were highly sought after historically when you were growing up. So we're seeing a little bit more of that. So now back onto this Ruby Lane thing here. So they sent an email out and they said, hey, how are we going to go about doing this? And the overwhelming majority of sellers said, hey, we would rather take the cost. Okay, because when you pitch it as a buyer's premium, you're actually scaring our buyers away. But when we hold it on the back end and you say, hey, you're just seeing an increase of cost on our end, you know what we can do? We can adjust our pricing accordingly. So if you're going to charge us an extra 3% rather than the consumer, we'll just go through and raise our prices 3%. Somebody wants the item, great. And if they don't, great. That's fine. Business as usual. If nothing else, you can just knock it off to inflation. Well, they've gone pretty darn hard. Okay. And they said that what we're going to do is we're going to assess a 3.75% cost January 1. As a seller, you're going to pay 3.75% fee on your sales. Now, Ruby Lane historically had a business model set up where you were paying for a store that included a quantity of listings, very similar to the business model that Prairie Grit attempted to roll out for people. And the idea was that they were able to reduce cost by knowing how much you were paying per listing and avoiding the complications of back-end fees. And then they went even harder and they said, not only are we going to do 3.75, but come February 1st, we're going to raise it to 6.7. And I guess the idea was to lessen the impact to the seller, but the reality is it's still going to be going up for them. We've seen hundreds of sellers leave the platform over the last 90 days. And as far as I'm concerned, this may cause a catastrophic death blow to the company that is Ruby Lane. As I said, they have 1,900 sellers on the platform. Now, their daily traffic, the amount of unique people coming to the site each and every day, which also includes sellers on the site, is roughly 7,000 people. Okay, just so we have a frame of reference, just so we can fully understand what that number means. If we look at a company like Prairie Grit, okay, Very, very small company. They are receiving, on average, 30 unique hits per day. And a lot of this is coming organically through Google, as well as paid ads through Google. They're getting 30 unique visitors per day. Now, I know what you're thinking. You might scoff at that, but given the scale of the company, that's not a horrible figure. Ruby Lane is looking at about 7,000 people. Mercari, on the other hand, is looking at about 350,000 unique visitors per day. A lot of that lends itself to the fact that they have an app-based experience, and it's a visual shopping experience, same way that Ruby Lane is as well. And Mark, yes, that is hilarious. I'm right there with you. And then eBay, the giant that it is, has about 5.5 million unique daily visitors, which is just a whopping number for me to wrap my head around. And if we look at a company like Amazon, it's a little bit closer to 20 million. So obviously, when you have something that's hyper niche, you have these super fine categories. In this instance, it's antiques. You're going to see lower levels of traffic when the total buyer pool is much smaller. Now, you can see dedicated websites for things like sneakers that will get over 1 million views per day, but the actual captive market of people who are interested in that type of commodity is much, much larger. So you really have to ask yourself, what do all these numbers mean? I don't know. I think they're going to be a little bit. I think they're going to be a little bit screwed. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think that other brands should take a look at this and ask themselves, what can they do to prevent these types of things from happening? I look at a brand like Mercari, for instance. Okay, Mercari is in a very, very tricky place to where if they don't start communicating with their sellers, they will destroy Mercari. Okay, they will destroy that site as well without proper communication to the sellers, because the sellers are what creates the inventory and creates the experience for guess who? The buyers. Okay, so if the sellers aren't there and the sellers aren't happy, guess what? They're going to leave. And we even saw that question get echoed to Jordan Sweetnam during the community chat when somebody had asked, what is your thought process regarding sellers choosing to leave the eBay platform for other alternatives that have better features, a better experience, and or a lower cost of entry and a lower cost of sales outside of eBay? What are you doing to retain these sellers? And there wasn't much given other than the things that we had already heard. But like I'm saying, if other brands don't take note of what's happening right now, they're going to suffer the same type of fate that Ruby Lane will ultimately face as this market starts turning downward. And I can't stress this enough. Be careful with the antiques market, guys. If anyone is holding high dollar pieces within the antiques and collectible market, I do suggest that you go ahead and start getting some of those things listed online. I don't see many things continuing to appreciate, but if you do have some type of antique or collectible with an established value that is consistently going up, sure, hodl, keep it for as long as you want. But just from the outside looking in, I would suggest starting to list some of your premium products before the market starts trending any further downward. Let me take a look at some of these comments that we got going on. Cabbage Patch Kids, classic Nerf guns. Are we passing out bolos? Modesto is so bad. Yes, Modesto is bad. Did you know Modesto ranked as one of the top towns for package theft in America? It was mind-blowing to learn that. What else do we got? John Gabriel, smash that like button. Thanks, John. And I missed a comment earlier. Let me get back to it as Beth left me a nice comment. Beth said, "Don't let the trolls get you. You and your channel are bomb diggity." Yeah, I don't even let it get to me. It's just confusion. I'm just like, why? And the sad part is I know who's doing it. I know exactly who's doing it. I'm not stupid. When you have a channel like this, I can see every single person who's subscribed to my channel. So if I see other creators just show up and they're not subscribed to my channel, they've literally gone out of their way to find me. I start getting dislikes on my videos. It's why we started blocking a lot of their comments as well. It's just a bad intent, just bad intent the whole way through and through. So it just confuses me that people could carry that type of spite within them. It's frankly sad, those who are that way. Let's take a look at the rest of these. Kristen Springer, thanks for tuning in. Good to see you again. It's like walking into Abercrombie and them charging extra as a buyer's premium. Yep, 100%. Yeah, and the thing is, like, I don't mind paying a buyer's premium if I'm in an auction house, a live auction house where there's staff there that's managing these items and they're trying to reduce the cost to the seller. I get that you want to burn the candle on both ends so you can make a little bit more, but I don't know. At a certain point, this is where innovation starts happening. You'll see other brands come to the table who are willing to do it for less money, and then they'll start squeezing the bigger boys out of the picture. You're going to see it happen with Amazon. You're going to see it happen with eBay. And that's the thing. I don't think people understand how businesses scale sometimes. And it's not that, oh, we made, $1 extra $1 million worth of money. We're going to hire an equivalent amount of staff to cover those extra earnings that we did and make sure things go. There's diminishing returns as you scale. So when you look at a company like Amazon, hiring for new positions and rolling out new warehouses, each new warehouse is going to cost more than the last because the amount of staff that has to go into maintaining those facilities and making sure everything's running the way it's supposed to run. So it's a lot easier for them as a company when they're smaller than as they start to get larger and larger and larger. So you will see new innovators come to the market, and Mercari will become a household name within the next 5 years as long as they don't screw anything up. Tracy, Tally, what is up, Jay? I'm Jason Collier's wife. Hello, Tracy. Nice to meet you. Hope Jason is well. And, I never heard back from him after our phone call the other day. So hopefully you can convince him the benefit of being a part of the program that we are doing. And I do hope that you guys are doing well too. Adam Schubitz says, is depression glass still doing well? No. All of that is going down in value right now. And yes, Pam, correct. There are going to be specific, unique, and interesting pieces that are going to be worth lots of money and continuing to get more expensive. So the best way that I can explain this, okay, is that you can use this type of model with almost anything. Video games, trading cards, comics, collectibles, antiques, glassware, etc. The really, really good stuff will continue to get more expensive, wherein the whatever stuff is going to continue to get cheaper. And you're going to see this divergence starting to happen. Things are either going to fall into the really good category or the whatever category. So I'd probably say the top 3 to 5% of any category will continue to go up in price. And with antiques, everything else is going to be taking a hit. Mainly furniture. It takes a lot of space to house this furniture. And frankly, a lot of people don't want it. Yeah, I get that the metal casters are beautiful and, your knobs are great and you've got these, these gorgeous hand-cut dovetails on the side of your cabinets. But, my generation doesn't have money. Okay, I think that's the best way to put it. Your generation, no disrespect, the boomer generation bled so much money out of this economy, defaulting bank loans and, buying up cheap property. And right now, especially here in California, my generation has no money. We don't get to make that decision to buy a $2,000 piece of furniture opposed to the brand new, just made last week, $200 alternative. So I think that's going to be playing a major factor in it. And then people dying. Okay, there's more people dying with that type of stuff, and it's starting to hypersaturate the market more than the market is willing to absorb it right now. There's just going to be too much stuff. So we're going to get to a point where we're going to start looking at things that historically had been really, really good, and due to the influx and the overwhelming amount of available inventory, you're going to see declining prices. If you want to see a modern example, look at TI-86 Silver Edition graphing calculators. Okay, 5 years ago, hot commodity, easy $90 all day long. Now, obviously, more people know about it now, but we're seeing that when previously there might have been 100 available listings for said item, now there's like 1,500 available listings. There's far too much supply to be able to handle. It's superseding the demand like 10 to 1 right now. So you're going to see this nonstop continual race to the bottom, and I guarantee you that will be a $15 to $20 calculator within the next 2 years. It's going to happen. So be mindful of your investments, be mindful of your commodities and your goods, okay? Guys, up next, we're going to be talking a little bit about holidays. I got this cool little chart here, okay? I can't full screen it too long, but I'll, let me see what I can do really quick. Slideshow, boom, boom, boom. So this is what it looks like, okay? And we're going to make this available on our Bolorama website as well. And this is a depiction of all of the different holidays that matter to me throughout the year, and just a different way of looking at holidays throughout the year. Okay, because a lot of times when we talk about holidays, what do we talk about? Okay, we talk about our standard ones. We talk about Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, but we really don't get deeper into things. There's this popular misconception of, can I sell swimsuits in winter and can I sell winter jackets in summer? And, the easy catch-all answer is yes, it's hot somewhere and it's cold someplace else. Okay. I've talked with some people as of recent, and certain people have been telling me, I'm talking to you, Mr. Chen, that they like to hold back inventory and they like to work the algorithm, and that they believe by slowly introducing inventory into their stores that it's going to stimulate sales throughout. Okay. And I understand the mindset and the logic behind it, because as you have more items available, you are naturally going to be selling more items. But when it comes to restricting inventory back, restricting seasonal inventory is one of those things where there's going to be a grain of truth about it. If you have 10,000 Halloween costumes, for instance, I would not recommend listing 10,000 Halloween costumes in November, okay? Because the odds are your costs are going to greatly outweigh the amount of value and sales that you will inevitably get. Now, if you have a couple of very unique Halloween costumes and you get those pieces listed up, and maybe you have 5 or 10 of them and you can absorb that cost throughout the year, odds are they will sell at some point during the year. And if nothing else, you may gain a couple of watchers that ultimately convert into buyers later. But if you have inventory, it should be active. Items that are not visible to the consumer cannot be purchased. So when we talk about things like bathing suits and winter wear that is semi-seasonal, you may want to give another consideration to actually getting them listed up. And Mr. Chen, leaving for dinner soon. We will talk later. I will do my best to speak with you this evening, but if I can't chat with you tonight, we will get on the phone first thing in the morning. If nothing else, I'll follow up with a text. Enjoy your dinner. And again, happy birthday. Have a wonderful day. Okay, my friend. Mindy says, Ashley sells weird clothes, snowsuits in May. I have a couple of snowsuits listed right now too, because year round, anything is possible. Yellow Brick Reselling says, my daughter is broke with paying student loans. She loves thrift store shopping with their lower prices versus eBay prices. 100%. And that's the sad tragedy of it all. With loans or without, my generation is poor. The thing is that the understanding of the market is very, very important. Why are pops doing well right now? Why are video games doing well right now? Why are trading cards doing well right now? It's important to understand that the generation of people who are buying those are predominantly between the ages of about 27 and 34. That's probably where about 90% of my inventory is going to within those categories. It has to do with the fact that the people who are buying those for the first time, a lot of them are coming into money. Okay. They figured out what it takes to maintain a living. Maybe they finally got that promotion. Maybe their degree is finally panning out. They've finally committed to getting a marriage and they know their house payment, whatever it might be. That's when this generation is finally starting to come into a little bit of expendable income, and they're willing to spend it on these somewhat luxury commodities. I'll look at a $10 toy and I'll call it a luxury good. Why? Because no one needs it, okay? Every single thing on this shelf is all nonsense. None of this matters to anyone, okay? And this is what we sell all day long, is we sell a lot of nonsense, okay? I'm not selling blankets. I'm not selling roof tiles. I'm not selling water. I'm not selling food. I'm not selling any quality of life type items. I sell toys and books and accessories and things that people really don't need. So understanding where your market is and where it's growing to, your next generation, your 30s and 40s, as things start evolving, that's going to give you a lot more of a better understanding of where you should be going moving forward with your purchases and such. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read these comments here too. I have no clue what's going on over there. So when we're talking about this, we're talking about winter wear, summer wear, also things like Christmas ornaments. Okay. Christmas ornaments are going to sell year round. Okay. But we're also considering associative items within that space. We're talking about Christmas gifts, okay, and things that can be perceived as Christmas gifts, Christmas cards, Christmas decorations, okay? And the same thing's true of other holidays like Halloween and Thanksgiving. We're talking things like with Thanksgiving, we're talking about pie pans, we're talking about placemats, we're talking about door decorations, holiday wreaths, and stuff to that effect. When we talk about the seasonal times, we're talking about wedding season, baby season, back to school season. What are you doing to position yourself to make sure you have that type of inventory to be successful? It's important to understand that as Mercari starts to evolve itself out, that the consumers are starting to get more engaged with a visual shopping experience. Some of the items that I have here today were bought specifically for Mercari. And I know that sounds wild, but it is a visual shopping experience. If you have items that play to the baby category or play to the wedding category and they have great visual appeal, they're going to do wonderful on Mercari. It's important to understand that there's going to be types of items that are going to do better there than elsewhere, especially when they're visually appealing. So getting yourself positioned to take advantage of it, like back to school. Do you have backpacks? Do you have school supplies? Do you have notebooks? Are you creating bundles? And we're not talking like, hobo millionaire type bundles. We're talking actual bundles that consumers are going to be going after. And if somebody is selling items on Mercari currently, okay, and they have money sitting in the kitty, waiting to be used or waiting to be transferred, and you can offer them the back to school supplies that they're looking for at a good price or even a convenient price. Okay, consumer can get on there and get some notebooks and get some colored pencils and stuff like that, and they can do a one shot right there for $10 and have it shipped to the house. Those types of bundles are going to do very, very well when they're timed correctly. So I always ask people, what are you doing to attract holiday shoppers? Okay. eBay has tools in place to be able to send out marketing emails to people. Are you sending out marketing emails during the holidays? Okay. Are you doing offers to buyers currently on eBay with messaging that encourages them to make a buy and or creates a sense of fear of loss if they don't engage with that buy? The only reason my volume is so incredibly high over the last 7 days, and that is not a reason to choose not to sign up for Patreon or give me a super chat. I'm just saying, my volume is doing so good. It started with an initial push to do offers to buyers. And I went through and I created a fear of loss message with my offer to buyer. Now, Mr. Exquisite himself, I believe he saw that, it was Mr. Eberhardt. He got one of my offers to buyers, and we put in fear of loss messages. We say, hey, we're going through and we're cleaning up our inventory. This might be your last chance to get this item before we start pulling some of our items down and start placing them onto other sites. We just wanted to give our watchers an opportunity to buy it. Here's the price we can offer you. Okay. So now the buyer's looking at it. It's an item that they've historically watched. You're giving it to them for 10, 20, 30, 40% off, whatever price point you want to do. And they have a decision to make. They might only have 24 to 72 hours to make that decision, but trust me, people are converting. I converted at least a dozen people this week with offer to buyer, and I only sent out about 100 offers. So it's about a 10% conversion rate. It works wonderfully. Okay. And then my store, it might be a little bit shocking to you, I have close to 400 followers on my store. So if I want to create a marketing email and say, hey, we got a bunch of brand new games and check out these games and send out that marketing email, it's going to work. It's going to be effective. It's going to be a way to do it. I'm checking my phone just to see if I sold anything because I've been selling so much stuff lately. I thought I might get another one during the show. Anyone get any sales during the show tonight? Lee James, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. He says, some of those old leather Samsonite commuter messenger shoulder bags go for $60 to $75. Would you be surprised if I told you I have a newer laptop bag inside of my bins right now? I actually found one this week that I think I'm going to keep myself. Beth Bryant got one. Richard got one. Congrats on the sales, guys. I love to hear that. This is what I tell people, you're just investing into the system. This is how you make your money right here. Just list your items and then watch the show. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, too, when it comes to understanding your seasons and your holidays and stuff like that is we've talked about this before historically with Christmas. You want to make sure that your listings actually entice the types of consumers that you're targeting. Okay. Certain things like baby shower season, for instance. Okay. You might want to create specific return policies that might be enticing to the consumer on specific types of items. You can say like, hey, we normally don't offer returns, but we understand that the parent might not want this, or it might end up having a boy instead of a girl. So we have some flexible return options on an item like this. Fast shipping could be a deal breaker when it comes to seasonal goods too. Are you doing something with your seasonal listings to let the consumer know, hey, we're going to get this item out to you fast because we understand the urgency of the holiday? And then lastly, great communication with the buyer. If they have nitpicky questions about some of these items, which let's be honest, they do, hit them with a little bit of courtesy and try and resolve their issue and then get the item out the door. Okay. And thank you for that, Lee James. Awesome. They are fantastic. They can be. I'm actually excited about checking out this new one. Jason Blake says, how much of a percentage discount have you been offering to watchers? Fantastic question. Okay. So it actually varies a lot. And there is no cookie cutter answer. So if I have an item, let's say that I have had listed for 4 years, which I know is an incredibly high amount of time, and let's say it's a single quantity item, and it's taken up a fair amount of space, I might offer somebody 50% off to get it out the door if there's been almost no interest and almost no views on the item. Now, if I have another item that's only been active for 3 months, and I have quantity of, let's say, 15, and I've sold 3 or 4 over those few months, and let's say it's listed for $20, I might only offer it for $17.50. I might give a small discount just to encourage that sale along. So you're really going to want to assess, how much do I really want the space? How much do I want to get the money out of the item? How many available buyers do I think might actually want this item? Do I want to get out from under a mistake? Or am I in a position where I really need to make money today? Okay, so your personal motivations and your personal business and your personal store setup are going to affect the percentage amount that you give. So for me, each item I look at individually, and I'll say, okay, it's a $50 item. I'm okay giving it for $35. It'll go out first class shipping. I'd like to get it out the door. So give it that assessment each and every time. Susan Gonzalez says, when should you lower pricing? I'd like to lower prices for things that didn't sell for Christmas. Fantastic question, and great to see you here, Susan. I actually got to hang out with Susan on Friday when I was in Fresno. We were both a little under the weather, but happy you're here. Hoping you're doing well today, Susan. So as far as when you should be lowering your prices, I don't think that there is a set answer for that. I would say that for me, historically, the best way that I have found to lower prices is by running sales, because it allows me to test the market without making permanent changes to my listings. So let's say I have 200 listings and they've all been online for 6 months to a year, and I'm ready to start getting those listings out the door. What I'll do is I'll run a sale on all of my listings at 5%. Okay, and we'll see how the market responds to that. Might get a sale or two, might get some action, and I'll run that sale for, let's say, 30 days. Now, during that time, I'm going to be continuing to list new items and getting stuff going and everything like that. But then at the end of those 30 days, I'll take those same items and then I'll go to 10%. And I'll do that for 30 days, then 15, then 20, then 25, 30, however far you want to go to receive the amount of money that you want to get for the amount of work that you've done. But for me, I like to keep items moving, but I also understand the one-off nature of this industry. A lot of the sales you've seen me post over the last week are certainly one-off sales. So if you have a big, varied, very unique type of inventory that doesn't necessarily have tons of buyers, sales might not even motivate your consumers because you may only have one person in the world who wants your item. So a sale is only going to cost you money, not necessarily make you money. If you're running general consumer goods, I would recommend 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so on until you get your item out the door. Because at some point, somebody's going to want it. And if they don't, let the item snap back to full price. I had an item just this last week that I sent out offers to watchers at $25. And then somebody who wasn't one of the watchers paid $42 for it. Okay. So it's going to happen. So just give all those things consideration. John Gabriel says, like VHS. Yes, VHS is a prime example where there's only going to be a handful of eligible buyers on any particular VHS movie, and offering a discount may only cost you money. Okay, what other things do we got going on? Yes, so the last thing I want to wrap up with on the discussion of holidays is it's important to understand there's always someone in the world who's going to want your holiday item on or off the holiday season. Okay? If you can afford the cost of 20 to 40 cents per month to let that item simmer online, go for it. And frankly, if you can't, if that's too expensive, which all due respect I get, create a second store. Make another eBay store. Doesn't matter. Okay, you get your 50 or 100 listings each month for free. If you have an established eBay account and you want to tether the two together, you can get higher limits right off the bat. And get your 100 free or 50 free and list them to there and then let them marinate. Doesn't really matter. So then you won't be absorbing any cost to let your stuff sit there. I know some people who have half a dozen to a dozen eBay accounts because they want to reduce their fee cost each month. Mr. Exquisite says, VHS is getting to be my bread and butter. Wow, I would have never thought that. The only VHS I touch currently is sealed VHS or stuff that just looks a little bit too unique. So I usually won't scan anything else. John Gabriel says, my new account only gives me 10 listings. Now, it may only give you 10, but the number of free listings you get should be somewhere between 50 and 100. Okay, so you may want to contact eBay and say, hey, this other account is my account as well. I would like to get my limits increased on this second account, and they will do that. I created a second account and I got 250,000 plus 5,000 listings on the day that I opened up that second account. So don't be afraid to contact customer service. Let them know what you're doing. Request that increase, and it will not negatively impact your primary account to have a secondary account. The only thing I will suggest, though, is that you have to make sure you log into that account every single day, because I have screwed up a few times, had a sale come through on the secondary account, didn't notice any of the emails, didn't switch over and check it, and I ended up being a week and a half late on a secondary account order. So something to keep in mind. What do we got? Do we got the Tiny Bits slide? Yes. So in news that other YouTubers will be talking about next week, our Tiny Bits, this one was actually brought up this week. The Tool Funhouse, I believe that's what it's called or how it's pronounced, which was a tool to see buyer and seller feedback, negatives and neutrals, historic activity on people's accounts, has closed down. I never used the tool. I don't see any value in the tool. I guess there was people who would just simply cancel orders or not do business with certain people based on their historic feedback. Business is business to me. I don't care if you have 100 negative feedbacks on your account. I'm just going to do good business, and I'm just going to carry on and keep moving forward. Simple as that. So they're closing on up. And then Square has now initiated a 1.5% fee on instant transfers. So if you're somebody who's using Square and you're trying to get your money quickly, the quickest way to do it now is to use your debit card provided via Square to be able to access your funds. That, or you will have to pay the 1.5% fee, or essentially $1.50 for every 100 or $15 for every 1,000, or just wait. I can't stress this enough. If your business is cash poor, you're doing something wrong, please reach out to me or one of our other experts so you can learn how you can scale your business just a little bit faster. And in the last bit of news for our Tiny Bits segment, January 28th will be the earning call for eBay. We're going to finally learn, how did eBay do in Q4? What was their company's growth? What was their company's losses? Where is the money being spent? I'm really curious what's going to happen, because I guess there was some belief that after StubHub was sold off that the company was going to be doing much, much better. But I've been watching the stock price and it's going down, and I'm really not seeing a whole lot of innovation happening on the front end. Mr. Exquisite says he's going to be on that call. I don't know if I'm going to catch it live, but I'll certainly catch one of the replays. If anyone has an interest in me doing a stream of it, I'll host it. But I know there's a lot of people that don't care about it. But if you want, I'll host it and I'll do a little stream. Maybe we'll do a little giveaway or something. Every time they lie, we'll give away a free T-shirt or something. So that could be a lot of fun. But yeah, that's all of our news for today. I do hope you appreciated the news. We're going to go ahead and transition into pickups now. Those of you who don't know, every single week I go out and I still continue to source. There's some misconception that I'm not a reseller, but I promise you I am. I genuinely buy and sell things online. Go figure. And each week I like to show you the items that I have acquired, because I find some cool stuff. Okay, we're going to start off with something very, very special. Yeah, I know there could be a run on shirts, honestly. I'd like to start off with something very, very special. Those of you who are part of our Facebook group heard about this earlier today. Guys, ooh boy, check these beauties out. I don't have just one of these. I have 14 of these beautiful Dymo 450 printers. And wait till you see this. They are brand spanking new. There goes the manual. That could not have rolled any further away. There's the brand new manual. And these are brand new, never before used. Even got the power cable in here too. Brand new power cable, brand new printers. It even comes with a starter roll of address labels. Holy cow. And then the power adapters are down there too. These are brand new printers. I've got 14 of these. 14! 13 of them are brand new. One of them was used. Okay. I bought these today at an incredible price. Okay. I also got some, I got what is it called? A Road Warrior 3, which is for scanning documents. I got 3 of those, and I got a Dymo server. Beth asked, where did you find those? I was sick this morning, horribly sick, and I didn't get to go to the swap meet. So what did I do? I busted out my phone and I got to work. And I sat on Marketplace and I started sending out messages to people that had interesting items. Not only did I close on this beautiful deal, okay, and if you guys want to see here, I'll even show you the picture of all of the units because I did get a lot of them today. Let's see. This is all the units. Look at all those bad boys, okay? Somebody had posted up that they had this, and they said they had 3 of them left. I'm like, 3 of them? And I said, I'll give you $20 a piece if you sell me all 3 of them. And they wanted $45 each. And they said, no, we're having no problem selling them. We've been selling them all week. I've already sold, 5 of them. Okay. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, 5 in a week isn't that great. And she's like, we have, I think, another 10 left. I'm like, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $25 each and I'll take them all. Okay, I'll take every one of them. And then she sends me back the picture showing 14 units and then the other pieces. And she says, I'll do everything here for $4.50, which is essentially $25 per piece. And Matthew, you are in luck. Okay. We have a very, very special price that I'm going to be offering our patrons and our viewers on these Dymo printers. And the prices are going to vary. Okay. So for our patrons who have been with us for 1 year, okay, or longer, as well as our patrons who are currently at the $50 tier or higher, you will receive one of these plus the correct roll of labels. You will receive a brand new roll of 99019 house labels shipped to you for our patrons for $40. $40 shipped to your house. Okay. Those of you who are not patrons at the $50 tier or who are not patrons for at least 1 year will be able to receive this same bundle for $50. And anyone else who's watching who would like to receive one of these, who isn't a patron, who just watches the show and wants to get a good deal on one of these, we're going to be offering them direct to you at $75. Okay. And that includes a $10 shipping concession. If your ship cost is higher than $10 to your location, you will pay the additional shipping on top of that. Now, these are available for patrons who plan to use them. Okay. You must use this. This is not eligible for resale. Okay. But these will get shipped out to everyone this week. We have 13 brand new ones and 1 used one. I would like to discard the box, okay, so I can reduce my ship cost as well. So if you don't need the box, that would help out a ton. And if you do need the box, we might charge you a couple extra dollars, okay, or try and fold it down or something like that. But one more time, just to reiterate, patrons who are at the $50 tier or higher, or patrons who have been with me for 1 year or longer, will receive these landed for $40 with a $10 shipping concession. $50 for patrons who have been with us for less than 1 year or who are on the $20 tier. Okay, the viewer tier, we appreciate you, but unfortunately, it's going to be standard pricing. And then the standard pricing for everyone else will be $75. With the roll of labels shipped for a brand new Dymo 450, which I think is an incredible price. And this is my way of saying thank you to everyone who helped make this possible. And I always say, when I get a good deal, okay, I want to pass it right along to those who need it as well. I don't need to make a fortune on this. I just want to make my money back and maybe make a little bit of extra money on the server and everything like that. It will be first come, first serve. Okay. So if you do want to get one, Pam or Mindy or someone, could you put a post within our patron lounge, and then go ahead and RSVP your slot in the comments. Everyone who's commenting right now, I see all of you. You will all be eligible for one. And also, I understand some of you are going to want to have a backup Dymo printer. I totally get that. Let's make sure that we take care of everyone who needs their first one first, and then we'll see what we can do about the backups, okay? Lake Tahoe Gem says, I bought a 4XL before Christmas, but I can't get it to work with Mercari. Don't be shipping Mercari labels. Make your labels through Pirate Ship, okay? Rhiannon, no box needed. Fantastic. And if you are a non-patron interested in getting one of these, please contact me on Facebook, okay? JCraft, the real one. It might even say that on there too. Or contact me through our business page or our Instagram and get in touch with me. We are not going to be listing these on eBay because we obviously want to avoid the fees. And we're going to make these available to viewers of the show until they are sold out. And like I said, we have 14 units. If you're interested in a Road Warrior 3 document scanner, we can offer you a brand new one at $40. And if you're interested in the server, the Dymo server that we have, please send me a message and we'll work with you on those as well. Yes, no box needed. Matthew, I really need that. Matthew, we'll make sure you get one. No worries. And just like on our call the other day, I am guaranteeing you one. One of the units that we have is a used unit. I think I may just hold on to that one as a backup. But if you're in a position right now where even $40, $50 might be too much for you, and you need a printer, you really need one to help scale your business, contact me. We can possibly offer you the used one for a little bit less as well. So this is my way of saying thank you to you guys. Okay. Sticking through. I told you from the beginning. Now here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I know I could sell each one of these for $80, maybe even as much as $100 when the market demands them. I do want to pass along those savings. I've never BS'd any of you guys. Okay. Every item I get, I show on air, and I'm happy. I'm happy to pay thank you to those who have supported me, especially those who have been with me for so long. Go find me another reseller who's going to sell you a brand new Dymo for $40 with a roll of labels, mind you. And I bought all those labels myself. That wasn't part of the buy. I bought all of my labels from House Labels, but I bought 150 at one time so I could get my cost down to $275 a roll. So it's a great value. And Susan will make sure we get you one too. I think we're going to have more than enough to go around. Mr. Crazy, Scott, awesomeness. Thanks for tuning in, bud. Happy to have you. Yeah, we're just passing along the savings to everyone. Adam Shibitz said, Rob, I got your message just now. I'm going to catch up my messages, guys. We're going to look at a ton of items right now. Rob, I'd like to reserve a Dymo. Yes, we'll reserve you a Dymo, but Pam is going to put up Pam or someone will put up a post in our Patreon lounge. We're going to make them available there first, and then we're going to make them available to everyone else. But tell all your friends and family. Let them know. We're giving away some great stuff, and we're really looking after the community today. But the moment I saw them, I said, man, believe it or not, I saw how much money I could make. That was the first thing, obviously. There's like $500 to $700 worth of profit there. And then as I was coming home, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, so many people could really use these printers. I'm like, I wonder how many people I could help with 14 printers in the back of my car right now. And on top of that, this guy might have more stuff. Okay, so long story short, just so you guys know how I got them, so you don't think they fell off the back of a truck. This gentleman had... he owns some type of medical place. They do a lot of data, and they bought these Dymos as an alternative to buying Zebra printers. And they didn't realize that all of the documents from the head companies and the way that they were formatted were all formatted for Zebra. So they have all these printers, and they kept them for years and years and years. Some of these boxes haven't been opened for 5 or 6 years. Okay. And you'll even see some of the old print on these boxes. And they said, okay, well, we can't use them. And they were this close to throwing them away at the business. They were going to throw them in the bin. And the owner of the company, the husband that I spoke with today, he said, we should at least take them and see if we can raise enough money for a pizza party or something. But they were going to throw them away in the trash. So I was able to salvage them. But yeah, on the way home, I was thinking, I'm like, man, we can help a lot of people here with something like this. Thank you, Pam, for placing that post. As far as setup is concerned, we do have a training video already created that shows how to use this printer on Pirate Ship to be able to generate your shipping labels. So you can just type in Dymo 450 Pirate Ship, and it'll bring up that video right away on YouTube. So without further ado, let's look at some items while I got a little bit of energy before I get sicker. I am gonna blow my nose real quick though, guys. So I'm gonna. Did you miss me? I get the feeling you missed me. Oh no, I accidentally hit the subscribe button. Oh man, if you haven't subscribed, you should probably subscribe right now. Oh, wow, how did that happen? So, let's take a look at some items, guys. For those of you who are interested in learning more bolos and you feel you haven't learned everything that you can learn in life, everyone but Pat, that is, okay, we're going to take a look at some cool bolos today. First up, is it Cornet? Cornet Barcelona. I got these really wicked cool wine glasses. Now, friendly reminder, if you're a patron and you see something you like, you can buy it off me at cost plus shipping, okay? Somebody bought that golf hat last week. I'm happy to get it out to the people who like it. But yeah, these things are gorgeous. Now, I'm going to get foam everywhere, and I really don't want to, but these are hand-painted wine glasses, and they match. And the pair together is going to be worth roughly $60. And now, if I was in a situation where I was only getting one, I would not buy this, nor would I recommend anyone else buy it, because let me make sure I don't destroy this, guys. Because $3, or excuse me, $5 in, $30 out, or $5 in, $35 out is not worth it on this size. But $10 in and $60 out is worth it on this size. Does that make sense? So these two boxes, they're already pre-foamed. They're already ready to go. I literally just need to find a box that fits the two of these together, which, let's be honest, it looks like the same size that eBay sends those 8x6x4 boxes in. So I have something that'll slip right into this, but these are fantastic. Beth Bryan says, OMG, we just sold those with no troubles. Great glass. Thank you. And believe it or not, your comp is probably what I looked at when I was at the store, because I remember going through the comps and seeing what I could pick up. Oh man, Pat the Reseller left me a dislike on the way out. Wow. Some people can't take the heat around here, I guess. But yeah, no, these are absolutely fantastic. $10 in, 60 to 70 out on the back end, depending on how I want to price them. So good stuff. Oh, this is a cool one. So this, again, really, really is important to understand. So when I talk about going slow, I truly mean it. I was in the car, finishing my lunch, having some coffee, and doing a video call. And Daniel went into the store first. And I was even thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I bet you he's going to get all the good stuff, because he's just going to go like straight to the media, straight to the books. He's just going to get the easy money stuff. He's going to pull it off the shelf. I wait maybe 20 minutes before I go in. So every single item you're going to see is 20 minutes after a seasoned seller has gone into the store and made a pass, okay? I am so incredibly patient now. I will look up everything. The Jay from 2 weeks ago would not have looked up those wine glasses. I would have just been like, dime a dozen wine glasses, whatever. Oh, fancy wine glasses. I don't care. I'm not going to deal with it. Okay. Because I had gotten to a point where I was wanting easy money. It's essentially, it's lazy. It's laziness. Okay. And I'm frankly, I'm not proud of how lazy I had gotten, because I think of all the missed opportunities that had happened. And then I said, I've got to slow down and look up everything I don't know. Stop making dumb assumptions, because I'm not that good at this job. I'm good enough, but I am not that good to where I can be ruling stuff out based on hunches. And I've been doing this 10 years now. Up next, the Camco Olivian Wave 3 Catalytic Safety Heater. Now, this has Amazon return labels or Amazon warehouse labels all over it. I paid $7.99 minus 25% off. I paid $5.99 for this item. This consistently sells used between $150 and $200 on eBay. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have a great way of testing this out. I might bring it to a friend's house who runs propane or gas lines or whatever and test it. But this doesn't weigh that much. It's maybe 5 pounds. Total ship cost might be as much as $40. We're looking at an easy $100+ profit after fees and everything else is said and done. Great pickup. Now, I've seen other heaters of this variety that are almost worthless, but this for RVs, there's a huge demand for items that plug into RVs, microwaves, TVs, turntables, yada, yada, yada. Anytime you see RV gear, it's worth stopping and looking it up. Yeah, Scott, you won't believe. So I actually talked to Scott today, and I messaged him and I said, boy, oh boy, would I kill to have a partner in crime to do this stuff with. Everything from recording videos to going out and sourcing, listing items and stuff like that, because the amount of money that is just out there on a day-by-day basis. I know I can, if I had nothing but time on my hands and I could go out 8 hours a day and source, I could easily find $1,000 worth of merchandise 7 days a week, without a doubt in my mind. But I am limited by my ability to stop and list these items, stop and record videos, stop and do consulting and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I love what I do. But what I'm saying is that if you were dead serious about doing this type of work, the only thing that's going to limit you is your ability to get the work done, the amount of time that you can put in, because there's always going to be stores around. When we were going through, I was working with Zyda this week. We were mapping out her area. The sheer number of stores in her area was mind-boggling. Probably over 20 different thrift stores within a 10-mile radius. Okay, and that to me is an easy $1,000 a day, like a nothing, like a cakewalk. Okay, and it's important to go through and start working in different categories. This is one of the things that we had talked about. Don't be afraid to dig through a big old pile of wires and try and find something that's a little bit odd. Okay, try and read the side of it, look it up, take a picture of the end, send it to somebody, get some answers, learn something new. Okay, and that's the big thing about it, learning new categories. Adam says, yes, those kinds of heaters are huge in the full-time RVer van dweller community. Yeah, it's a nice piece. It's heavy. It's built well, so I completely understand that. Oh, this is cute. This was a no-brainer. I didn't even look this thing up. This is a Mickey Mouse jack-o'-lantern kit. Okay. So you can see the processes, if this wasn't self-explanatory enough already. I paid $2 for this. This is the type of item that I'm talking about that has visual appeal. This can be thrown up onto Mercari fee-free and sit there until Halloween next year. This is probably where this is going to go. It's probably going to go to Mercari because it's easy flipping money, okay? Pay $2 in, and I don't know what it's selling for. If I had to take a stab in the dark, 15 to 20, but I'll probably list it for 20 plus on Mercari. Now, there's a chance it could be screaming higher than that because it's some type of out-of-print toy or something. Oh, no, this is modern. This is 2019. Okay, 15 to 20 bucks is what I'm going to list it for. But like I said, $2 in on that. Not bad at all. Here's a dumb item. And I want you to remember, all of these items were found after Daniel went through the store. Okay. Ed Burgart, legendary track announcer, bobblehead. Okay. Who are the people that are buying these? Okay. I must know this. This is a brand new in-box bobblehead. Now, I know that the bobblehead market is a little bit all over the place. Some go for great money, some are worthless. It's brand new with the original foam. As far as I know, it's never been taken out of the packaging. I haven't even opened it up. I didn't even open it up in the store. That's probably a little bit lazy on my part. Yeah. It looks fantastic. Everything's fine on it. And you're probably thinking, what's it worth, Jay? These sell for $40, okay? Who is paying $40 for this bobblehead? $40. And the price I paid, 99 cents, okay? You seriously cannot beat that. So even if you see something, and that's something that I would have looked at a couple of weeks ago and be like, that's stupid, nobody's going to buy that. And how many of you looked at that and would think the same thing? Like, I'm not even going to look that up. That's dumb. Who's going to buy a track announcer bobblehead? Okay. This is what I'm talking about. Slowing down. Every time you see an item that you don't recognize, okay, something that you've never come across before, stop and look it up. You never know. Oh, I got a new shirt for the show. Cost me $2. MBX brand. I just like the print on it. You'll see me wearing this after I get it cleaned and pressed. And that is a track announcer. I think he did the announcing for what do you call it? The big horse races. The Preakness, the Derby, somebody who does track racing. What's it called? The Triple Crown, something like that. I can't even remember what it's called. Seabiscuit. Here's another odd item. okay? And Daniel walked right by this one, okay? Let's just say, leading at the speed of trust. This is a nice media item, okay? I paid $4 for this. This is a consistent $40 sale. This can ship out media as well, so it's only going to cost me about $4 to send this anywhere in America. $40 return on investment. I opened it up. Everything is inside of there. Yes, the Belmont Kentucky Derby. Thank you. And this is it right here, guys. I understand. Some of you love working in shoes. You think shoes are the best thing you've ever worked with. Some of you love working within clothes. It's the best thing you've ever worked within. Okay? But if you're going into a thrift store and you like I said, you've already taken all the time to get there, go through all the bric-a-brac. Go through the hard goods. Find those other items, okay? Yes, the Preakness, Breeders' Cup. Yep, all of that stuff. Guys, I got 2 really cool plush here. Susan, you're going to want one. I've got 4 pieces of plush. I got first one. This is one that Brandy's going to want. This is a Scrump. Okay. Now, normally I don't buy really tiny plush, but this one, okay, is actually Loungefly brand. Now, most of you are familiar with Loungefly, but you don't realize it. Loungefly is the premium brand that produces a lot of different bags, handbags, backpacks. You may have seen different Disney themed backpacks that are like really colorful, really bright, and they make some gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. And this piece right here was probably a keychain accessory to some bag. I paid, I think, $1 for this piece. I'll get $15 to $20 on the back end for this. I'll probably end up doing a private sale with somebody, but just super cute, premium brand to keep your eyes open for. The next one, another premium brand. Look at this, Tokidoki. Okay, and this is a Tokidoki unicorn mermaid plush. I paid $1 for this. Okay, I don't know why the colors look a little washed out. Hold on one second. Maybe it's just on my end. Hold on. Let's see how that looks. That looks good. Yeah, a little flatter. But yeah, great looking piece. I don't know what this is worth. I got it for $1. And this again is another one of those things that even if it has no list value online, this is something that can go to a convention. This is something that can do marketplace. This is something that I can do on Mercari. This is something that's going to sell all day long. Tokidoki, easy sellers, minus that Tokidoki buy that I told everyone to do. I still don't know why the market is so soft on that. If anyone needs a little bit of buyback action and they pre-spoke with me, we can do that. But this is a cool little piece. And then I'm going to show you the next plush. This plush literally stopped me dead in my tracks. It is not often that I see a plush where I'm actually like impressed or blown away. Here, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to send this back. Give me 1 second. I'm starting to think that might look a little better. Yeah, we'll go with that. So this one right here, guys, look at this thing. It says Meg on the front. Look at these goggles. ACS on the backpack. Okay, she's got her little safety boots on too, and these are like, you know, really industrial safety boots. And look at the tag on here. Look at this thing. American Chemical Society. Isn't this adorable? This is a little safety doll, okay, to I don't know, give to kids or put up someplace. Talk about the importance of chemical safety. This is a $30+ stuffed animal. And when I saw it, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I've never seen anything like this before. Easy money again. I think I paid $1 or $1.50 for this thing. It's got the little beanies in the butt, so it'll sit for you and everything. Great little piece to pick up whenever you see just interesting and unique plush. Always stop and look it up. And I understand getting into plush is no different than getting into shoes. There's so many different brands to know and things to learn. It is a little more narrow than shoes, but the same rules always apply. Unique, interesting, different, stuff like that. Look them up, see what they're worth. Easy money, easy to ship as well. But yeah, super great condition too. Super floofy hair on her as well. Very well cared for. I'm probably going to ask more. I'm probably going to go as high as 40 or 45 because there's currently none available right now. So I picked this up as a one-off. This is Trader Joe's beeswax candles. Now, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend anyone buy these. I bought these for a couple of reasons. One, they're interesting. Two, I just watched a little documentary on these things. These are actually hand rolled. So you can see there at the end, you can see that the tube's actually rolled up on these bad boys, but these are hand rolled beeswax candles, and I couldn't find a available comp on eBay. I will look off eBay as well before I either choose to list or keep these. I paid $2 on them, but supposedly these things burn for forever because of the way that they're built, and I don't know. I think that the flame is supposed to be a little bit more of a visual experience, but very, very cool. $2 in. I would assume I could get, because you know how people are with Trader Joe's stuff. The secondary market can get really hot on certain things, maybe $15 to $20. But again, like I said, I haven't done further research. I kind of bought that as a me item. And then here's a cool one. What's the brand on these again? This is the first time ever showing an item like this on air. These are Sperry Topsider size 3 baby shoes. Okay. And you don't ever see me picking up baby shoes, but these are the first pair of baby shoes that I picked up that actually looked expensive, and they look like they cost money to produce. I paid $5 for these baby shoes, but these are going to sell between $30 to $40 on the secondary market. They are in like new condition, virtually no wear to the tread whatsoever, because, I mean, let's be honest, a baby's foot's only going to be this size for, 2 weeks before they're going to need bigger shoes. But yeah, great pair of Minnie says she has made these. Interesting. But yeah, great. Oh, you mean the candles? I thought you meant the shoes. And yes, it's better to ship candles in the winter than it is in the summer. Great shoes, easy money on these, great condition. I don't really have much advice to give you on these because I've never dealt in this category before, so I'm not going to sit here and speak like some expert on them. And then I picked up this CD, and I normally do not deal with media anymore because of the restrictions with Amazon. You can't sell popular music, can't sell popular books, popular records. Everything's kind of been cranked down a lot harder. So when I get to a CD section, what I do, my workflow, is I go through and I pull out every single brand new CD that I can find there. I just pull them all out as soon as I get there, and then I build a stack. And then I make a second glance and I look for anything that I deem to be unique, something that maybe has like that counterculture look to it. Maybe it's heavy metal, maybe it's vintage rap, maybe it's some type of ska music, but just something that looks unique visually to the eye. I'll pull those out, and then I'll go to my stack and I'll sit there, scan on Amazon, see what I can find. If I find something that scans in well with a low rank, I'll cross-check it against eBay. This is consistently selling. Corcoran Holt, the Mecca. This is about an $18 CD brand new. That's why I picked this up. So, and here's the thing, even vintage stuff can be deemed as popular music still if there's a high enough sell-through rate on it. So even with that being said, just be mindful of what you're picking up. Sperry goes new 90 to 145. New news to me. Thank you for that, Lee James. I appreciate that. And, I might be able to market those as new, but it's going to be kind of hard to say. And I have a brand new brand of plush to bring you, which I did not think that a new brand would be creeping up into my lexicon this year. But the brand is called Blah Blah. And again, this is the process of really slowing down. I had kind of written off the sock monkey style of plush. But when I saw this, firstly, I noticed it was an owl, but I noticed the build quality was really nice. This wasn't some faux knit material. This was an actual knit sweater material. I touched it, gave it a little squeeze. I realized, okay, this has a decent fill to it. And then I turned it over and I saw the embroidered and then stitched on blah blah tag. This is about a $25 to $30 stuffed animal. Okay. Again, I paid up for. I paid $3.99 for this, which is about 8 times more than I like to pay, but easy money on this. $25 to $30 out on the back end. And what's really cool on this one is the Blah Blah brand, and specifically this plush has a very aggressive sell-through, anywhere between 6 to 10 units sold over the last 90 days of this specific style. So keep your eyes open for Blah Blah brand. I'll show you one more time what that tag looks like. Kind of get that locked into your mind a little bit. But even myself, like I said, I had to slow down. I said, don't write off this sock monkey because all sock monkeys are potentially worthless. A majority of them are worth absolutely nothing. I need to slow down. and evaluate each item individually. So now we're going to be... I almost spilled a massive pile of things. So now we're going to be moving across. Let me ask you guys, do you guys want to see the items that I got from the thrift store? You know what? Let's just get through this one. I think we're going to do one more bin today, and I might need to sideline the other stuff because we're coming up on 2 hours already. So unless the chats keep me on air, I think we might just do one more bin. But I'm going to continue to source. I've come to the realization I'm simply not going to be able to show everything every single episode, but I'm not going to list anything that hasn't been shown yet. So I do plan to build up some type of surplus. This next item is a great one. Again, working at the swap meet, working alongside Daniel. I see Daniel there sifting through all the electronics. That's what he's going through. And there's a lot of people sifting through them. This is one of those Amazon return giant booths that I've shown historically in the past. I'm looking around, everyone's doing electronics, and I see a giant pile of textiles behind me. No one's looking at the textiles. I said, you know what? I'm going to get deep into those textiles. I'm going to see what I can find. The first item that I looked up was this Circo brand pirate quilt. Okay. And I was very much so taken aback with how much this thing was worth. These sell on average for about $100 on eBay. Okay. This one's brand new, nice and wrapped up and everything, ready to rock and roll. I'm going to put it in a nice protective outer bag before I ship it out. This can go out cubic, tons and tons of money. Mindy wants to see the Tupperware. I'll pull up the Tupperware. I'll reach over and grab it for you next, Mindy. And wow, that looks impressive. It is a nice piece. Let you see the quality on it. And this is Target brand. Okay, the Circo brand is a Target brand, First House. Pam's Flip Life says, I bet you dress incredibly well and smell good. I am not sure I understand the context, but thank you. Now, just so you guys know how much I paid for that, I negotiated. She wanted $10 for that quilt. Now, don't get me wrong. $10 is a fine price to pay for that quilt. But I knew that my odds of negotiating that quilt down were slim. Okay? If you tell somebody on a very nice premium item and you say, hey, would you take, what are you going to tell them? Okay? What do you tell them? Okay? If you say, would you take 6? Okay? They're not going to take 6. 6 is just an offensive number. You can take 7. That's an oddball, funky number. It doesn't give you much room to negotiate. You tell them you're going to take 8 on this. Okay, now you sound like you're nickeling and diming. And $9 is just a waste of everyone's time. It's just pay the $10. I was not going to be able to negotiate off of this item. Okay, I'm not going to get them to half either. They're not going to give it to me for half price. So the only way I could reduce my cost on this item was to bundle other items into the sale, which is what I did. I found this really nice scrub set. Okay, this is Cookie Monster. It says nom 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 all over it. The brand on this is, it says Tuniforms Cherokee. So Cherokee brand, the Tuniforms line, OEM tag right there. Not only did I find one brand new in the package, I also found a loose one with the original tags on it as well. So I have one unit that I can use for staging and one unit ready to ship as well. These are $25 to $35 each. Okay, so now we have $150 to $160 worth of value. And then I came to her and I said, hey, you think you could do $10 for this? Now that is a reasonable request. Okay, that is more appealing to the consumer, more appealing to the seller to move more units. And yeah, obviously they wanted 10 on this, but in their mind, well, maybe he won't even take the more expensive thing if I don't give him the smaller things, and the smaller things might be meaningless to them. They got 10,000 pieces of clothing. What is 2 pieces of clothing to sell a $10 blanket? Said, okay, we'll do $10. We'll do that. There we go. For no extra cost to me, I was able to add another $50 to $60 worth of value to the buy that I was doing. This is what we're talking about. Those of you who don't know, we will be doing at eBay Open this year in Las Vegas, okay, we will be doing an advanced negotiation class for our patrons. We will also be live streaming it for the patrons as well. And we will talk about how to negotiate deals out better like that. And then we are also from there going to be going straight out into the field. We will be going to swap meets and thrift stores, and you will see firsthand how I work and how you can negotiate better deals. And people don't realize this, okay, the value of this. This isn't, giving you a fish. This is literally teaching you the fundamentals of fishing, and you're going to be able to take these lessons and carry them with you for the rest of your reselling career. Okay, and that's what we do here. And that's why I avoid single bolo type suggestions. I say, let me show you how to work within this category. These are the things that you want to look for within this category. Maui Delight says, awesome negotiating, Jay. Thank you so much. And the art of the deal, the art of the dance, it's so much fun. And I get it's very intimidating. And a lot of people don't think about the step down and the way it works internally and the perception of the seller. But it's important to play these games. It's important to build good rapport. The moment I showed up, I was courteous. I looked over the goods. I asked questions about other items just to kind of soften things up a little bit. Just get some type of numbers moving with something. There's a lot of things to learn. Susan Gonzalez says he's good. Susan has seen me working hand in hand with her for hours and hours on end at the swap meets to get some of the deals that I get. But that is a fantastic price to pay for those. Lee James says the meetup will be so much fun. I look forward to it. I greatly look forward to it. I cannot wait for eBay Open this year. As long as eBay's still a company by then, which let's hope. I look forward to it as well. So when I was at the thrift store the other day, I'm walking through, and this is the same one that I showed you all the other items from, but it was 1 week earlier. We're digging into a different bin right now. I'm going through and I'm not finding much. And this was before I changed my perception. This was before I rethought about what I was doing. And they were rearranging the store in there. They were pulling shelves down. They were pulling inventory down. They were redesigning the bric-a-brac section. And they just finished getting things done and set. And they realized that they had to get everything unloaded off the shelves. And one of the managers walks up. She's like, let's just make everything $1. And I'm standing there and I'm just, what? She's like, yeah, just tell everyone everything's $1. Just announce it over the intercom. I'm like, everything? She's like, yeah, if it's bric-a-brac, just, any bric-a-brac, we'll just sell it for $1 right now. And I look over at Daniel. I'm like, get the cart. So I'm like, get a cart right now. Get a cart. Get over here. Okay. And I'm like, and I see the associate walking over there. I'm like, walk slowly, please. Because I wanted this head start. I wanted the head start on the inventory. Okay. And I just walk over and I just start throwing stuff inside the cart because at $1 an item, it's like, why not? Why not start chucking stuff in the cart and figuring it out later? The first item I threw into the cart, I didn't even know what this was, okay? It's Tap Fit. This is the dumbest thing ever, okay? This is one of those items. Have you ever sold something and you're like, man, I feel sorry for the person who bought that because they just took that money and just threw it in my direction. Tap Fit. Some type of exercise, tap dancing. It's got these little neoprene tap dance shoe covers with a DVD and a manual. This kit sells between $100 to $125 on eBay. Why? Why are people buying this and spending so much money on it? Frankly, it's none of my concern, but I got this for $1. And you know what's crazy? Okay. I'll tell you what's crazy about this. When I first went through the shelves and I saw that price tag, how many of you have seen a price tag on an item and it scared you away? This price tag says $8, okay? And I said, $8, open it up, look. No, I'm not going to pay $8 for that, not a chance. What if it said $15, $20, would you have still written it off? You would have probably written it off even faster. Open it up and like, nope, not worth it, not a chance. And that's exactly what I did. But at $1, I'll throw it in the cart, I'll figure it out later. And it wasn't until I was in line getting ready to pay, I'm like, I'm going to look this up just so I don't even waste $1. And I learned it was worth so damn much. So this is what I'm talking about. Really slow down what you're doing, okay? Because even this guy, I'm willing to sit here and admit I had been making some mistakes, okay? And I would have written this damn thing off easily. Adam Shivett says, I'll admit that I love the idea of things that will attach to my shoes and make them tap. I'll sell them to you at a reduced price if you'd like. John Gabriel Alt is pay $8 on a $100. Yeah, definitely spend the money. It's there. Lee James says you should throw it in the Let Physical song by Olivia Newton-John with the set LMAO. I can definitely create some type of quality bundle on this item. Let's take a look at a few more items and we're going to button up for the evening. While I was there, when they said everything was $1, I got this really big Huggies plush. It has this nice mochi feel on the inside, a couple of embroidered hearts on one side, nice attachment on top. Overall, good condition. They had an original price tag of $5 on it. Did not look this item up because it did not matter to me. At $1, this was an easy buy because, again, Mercari fodder. And this will easily fold down to fit inside of an 18 by 18 poly bag. I will ship this out cubic 5 anywhere in America for, I don't know, under $12 or $14 on that, maybe 18 at the most. But I think I'll get 40 or 50 bucks for this. Maybe, I don't know. But like I said, $1 in, I can short sell it locally for 20 if I need to. Or it might become part of a bigger lot. Who knows? I also got this kind of as a joke item for Daniel, again for $1. Easy Pockets. Didn't look this thing up. All the pans were in there, so I went ahead and snagged it. And then this was actually at a different thrift store. This, again, is another one of those visual appeal types items. Look at this bamboo with the panda, with the original tags. I'm going to tell you guys something new that I'm going to be doing right now, okay? And yes, plush again. I'm going to tell you something brand new that I'm going to be doing on Mercari starting this week, okay? I am no longer going to be including brands with my plush, okay? And I know that sounds absolutely wild. I want to make it as difficult as possible for a consumer to find another one of these. And really think about that right now, okay? If you're a consumer shopping for an item and you go onto Mercari and you see these really cute pandas, and I have them listed for $40, okay? If I've provided you with the brand on this item, you are immediately going to be able to jump online and find quick and accurate comps for this item. Now, if I put this online and I do not include the brand, okay, you're going to have to go through the arduous process of scrolling through thousands of different pandas to try and see if you can find a cheaper one. Therefore, making my listing and my product more valuable to you because it's going to offer a quick and immediate solution to your need to buy pandas of this style. So I will not be including brands on plush any longer at all. I will just put no brand. Or I'm just going to create my own brand name, maybe even make a fake tag, see if I can get that brand name approved, and it might just be Jay's Plush. And I'm just going to put that on every single one of my plush moving forward. I will keep you posted on how this works out for me, but I feel like it's going to go great. This one has an original tag on it. I think the guy charged me $3. And like I said, I normally don't like spending this much on plush, but this is a really, really cute piece. I can see me getting $30 to $40 very easily. Susan says, this is the cutest panda set. Susan, I actually got this at the thrift store that we went to downtown. I don't know if you remember the one that had the younger Hispanic guy working and there was like raised up areas, the place where you got those cookie jars at. This came from that same place downtown. And guy worked some great deals with me and Daniel on some items as well. Money from Mars says, damn Jay, genius. Yeah, now I'm going to tell you right now, I do not want to make it easy for consumers to find alternatives. Mercari is a visual shopping experience. If they like what they see when they see it, they should buy it right then. If they don't, if you want to go elsewhere and find one elsewhere, go ahead. But I'm not going to make that easy for you. I'm not going to make it easy for you to buy somebody else's item. And I think that's the way it should be, right? Great marketing, good idea. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, Tupperware for Mindy, I'm sorry. Mindy, I got one of these. You'll be proud of me. You know what it is already. It's a golden harvest deviled egg container with the inserts. It has both inserts on the inside, and the inserts are in great condition as well. If you find these, make sure you find them with the inserts. If they don't have the inserts, they're flipping worthless, okay? And make sure it has the lid or it's not going to be worth listing online. It has to be a complete set on this one. The parts are not worth listing. This is going to sell for anywhere between $20 to $25, depending on where the market's at. I know it's not a ton of money. I paid $4 on the front end for it, but they consistently sell. And I'm not going to just pass on money while I'm there already. I know I said I was going to raise my cost basis, but it's free money, so I got to take it. Ashley Sims says, are you allowed to put your own brand name on another brand's plush through to advertise it? Probably not, okay? But here's the thing. Once you can get a brand approved, even if you make your own tag and you can get your brand approved through Mercari and it becomes part of the search directory, you could simply select that brand every single time you run a plush listing. And I wouldn't necessarily state it as a violation of the terms of service. If anything, I would constitute it as being a private brand that I am choosing to promote my own personal brand of the plush market, so to speak. And it could be a faster way for me to index my items and be able to find them as well. So I will keep you posted. I wouldn't recommend that anyone jeopardize their account by doing anything to circumvent the terms of services. I'm going to try and get away with it. Speaking of which, guys, I've been buying some items as of recently, and I have been seeing some interesting things to get people to leave feedback on Amazon. And I'm wondering, how close can these companies get before they violate the terms of services? Because Amazon even said, we don't want people trying to circumvent the terms of services and buying reviews. Check out this label that I got with deodorant that I bought online the other day. Okay. And I'll read it to you here in just 1 second if it doesn't show up for you guys. Okay. It says, reviews matter. Reviews help customers. Buy smarter. Won't you leave a review? ? They're not asking them to leave a review. They're asking if you will leave a review, which is a fundamentally different question. Will you leave a review? Won't you leave a review? It's a fundamentally different question, and it's an interesting way to circumvent the rules. Now, here's the thing, okay? If you can't be guilted into leaving a review, what if I bribed you? What if I bribed you into leaving me a review on my item? What if I not only bribed you, but I bribed you and I suggested what type of review that you should leave me, okay? I got this with a dash cam that I ordered the other day. Dear customer, thank you so much for your purchase. We sincerely hope you will like our product. It carries a 1-year warranty. If you have any problems, please let us know and we'll definitely solve it for you. Now that part is 100% fine. We would like to cordially invite you to share your shopping experience by leaving a product review on Amazon. We're inviting you. We're not telling you to. We're merely inviting you to leave one. It would really help our other customers learn more about the product. True statement. We wish to express our gratitude with a small gift. Please choose between the two, a 4-in-1 card reader or a 16 gigabyte micro SD card. Now, here's the thing that's really smart about this. The item that I bought, the dash cam that I ordered, requires a micro SD card, which is not included within the box, right? So a buyer would certainly have a vested interest in receiving a free 16 gigabyte micro SD card. Now, if you thought that that's where the end of the story was, and you guys don't know me well enough, you know I won't bring up something like that and waste your time. Now, if we turn to the back side of this card, it gives me detailed instructions on how to do this, with the first line saying, sign to your Amazon account, find your order, and select write a product review. Okay, so it's giving me some instructions, which I guess is fine. Now, it says, step 2, write your great shopping experience. Now, to encourage somebody to write a great review, now he's not saying give me a great review. He's not saying it must be a good review. He's just saying write your great experience. So again, we're very much so skirting the line. Now here's the other thing, okay? Within the field, because there's an image here that shows what the field looks like. Within the field, it says good quality, amazing price, highly recommended. So it's suggesting a positive one. And above that, what is it showing? It's showing 5 golden stars. Now, it's not saying that you must leave a 5-star review. It's showing 5 golden stars. Now, here's the thing, okay? If that's all there was, okay? If that's all there was to it, I would say, you know what? That's a little bit scummy, but I don't think that they're really, truly, intentionally trying to skirt the lines. And you guys would be able to say, Jay, I think you're just kind of stretching things out. I think you're trying to make something of nothing. And I might even give you the nod, okay? But here's the real kicker, okay? At the end, it says, email us with your order number and customer experience link and tell us which gift you want via our email. Wait, ready for this email address? review5star@outlook.com. I am not even kidding right now. Okay, so they're not telling you to give us a 5-star review. They're not saying that it must be a 5-star review, but that is the email, review5star@outlook.com. Okay, I think it's a little bit scummy what they're doing here, because it really destroys the consumer experience when I don't know did I buy this because it's actually a good camera, or did I buy this because 500 people before me were bribed with a micro SD card and strongly encouraged to leave a 5-star review? I don't know. I frankly want to return it back, and I want to get a different one because I don't like this type of nonsense marketing being included with my item and this type of trickery being included with my item. Beth Bryan says mind control. Exactly. Let's take a look at a few more items. I just wanted to share that with you. I left it here on my desk specifically for that. And if you guys want, I can talk to you about Spectrum Cable as well. Boy, did I have a good call with them the other day. So I picked this up. This is from Disney World. This cost me $2.50. No, this cost me $1. This was part of the dollar sale. I didn't want to pay $5 on it. Okay. And this is for the Disney 50 years in the making. And it includes, it's a little bit damaged. It has this very heavy lenticular piece here on the inside. I think it's lenticular, or it might just be 3D. And then there's also a history of book. I don't know how to get it out. Hold on. See, this piece already fell out. Or it's supposed to come out, but it's not supposed to have glue all over it. So this opens up. I'm sorry if I'm showing it off camera. So this opens up, and then there's a book on the interior. There's a book on the interior, and it's a really nice book. It has some more of that lenticular action going on the interior, and kind of talks about the history of Disney. These aren't worth a whole lot. I frankly wouldn't recommend anyone buy one for more than $1. I think I'm going to get maybe $25 on the back end for this. There's just not much demand for something like this. It's cool, okay, but it's, again, not really worth jumping after. Let me see. Oh, it is lenticular. Yes, it is lenticular. I was just doing it right here. We'll make it really special looking. There we go. If you're wondering what those big boxes are, those are lights that I have around me right now. That's Pam's brand. I will be happy to sell it to you, Pam. It's also Susan's brand. Susan does a lot with Disney as well. Oh, God, guys, I haven't shown this item, and I bought this one over a month and a half ago when my car was last broken. This, again, is truly the importance of slowing down. This is the epitome of it, okay? When was the last time you slowed down and looked at frames? And we're not talking like eyeglass frames. We're talking like portrait frames. Check this out. This is an AKC, or American Kennel Club, certificate plus photo holder for your dog. Okay. This sells for about $65 on eBay consistently. This is an item to definitely go after if you come across one of these. This is brand new in the original packaging. Definitely jump after one of these. If you see it, I paid $3.99, and even has some paperwork and documentation on the inside as well. But yes, this American Kennel Club, even if you see a used one, frankly, if you're able to get the contents out of it and have it nice and clean, easy money on something like that. Actually, since that is, it is very nice. It is a nice piece. And then part of that dollar sale, this is the last item that I got from that dollar sale. KNet Strategy at the Speed of Light, some type of Mensa laser game. There's a bunch of small pieces. You can hear them moving around there. There's a bunch of small pieces in there. And I thought at a minimum, I might be able to sell the replacement pieces. Sorry, that is so loud. And that's why I went after it for $1. I have the belief that I'm going to be able to get money on either spares or pitching it as like an enhancement or add additional pieces to your existing set, which is what I've done with parts lots historically in the past. So those of you who are watching this in the future, who didn't come for the live show, let me know in the comments what your favorite item was out of all the items that we showed today. And if you learned something new, let me know about that too. Those of you who are watching actively right now, do me a favor and like this video. That was the last of our pickups for today. I want to give one more plug to our Patreon. And it's important that I do this, guys. And I know you guys hear about it all the time. If you aren't within our Patreon community, I guarantee you, and I'm not just saying this to be snarky, I'm not just saying this to line my own pockets, you are missing out on a lot of revenue. You're missing out on the opportunity to be working with a fantastic team. You're missing out on one-on-one consulting. You're missing out on great buys. You're missing out on an opportunity to be a part of something like those Dymo printers that we talked about earlier in the show. Please consider, if nothing else, go check out our Patreon site. And if you want to see one of our private training videos that you haven't seen before, we have one that we didn't release to the public. We'd be happy to send it over to you at no cost if you'd like to see it. And we are working on developing more and more content. As always, 99.9% of our content is free, But there is certain topics that we do not cover on air, such as, expanding your working territory, personal marketing and branding to create your own personal brand identity. We talked a little bit about it earlier, but there's a lot more lessons that I simply can't dive into on air because they're going to be very personalized to you. So unlike other people where everything is very cookie cutter, we build plans for your personal business to success based on you, your time, your territory, and what you're looking to do with your company, your own personal reselling brand. So feel free to reach out to us in the future. And those of you who don't know, those of you who do not want to receive all the perks, if you just want to be a patron and donate every month, we have a $5 viewer tier, but you're welcome to donate $1. You're welcome to donate $100 every month, whatever you want to donate to help keep us on air. We do appreciate it. Currently, we are at 25% of our overall funding goal on a month-by-month basis. So as Lee James says, it does pay for itself. If you do sign up as a patron and you do not enjoy the program, if you do not find value in it, we will refund you. We even have somebody in the audience this month who got refunded because, they got a little tight on the funds and they needed the money back. And I said, hey, no worries, here you go. And I sent it right back to him. I said, we want people to succeed. The goal isn't to take your money and put it in my pocket, okay? The goal is to take your money and help you make more money because of it. Guys, last week before we got off air, we talked about something very, very important. We talked about the importance of mental health. And I understand nobody wants to talk about mental health. Nobody wants to talk about depression or suicide. And, these are sometimes topics that we want to brush under the rug. But if you're somebody who's dealing with something like that, or somebody who's dealing with mental health, or maybe you've just never had any education on the topic and you just want to hear somebody talk about it for 10 to 15 minutes, go back and check out last week's show. It's near and dear to my heart, not because of me personally, but I do my best to touch as many hearts as I can through this program. And we do talk often about mental health privately with our patrons. But this week, I want to talk about the bad apple. I don't know what it is. Okay. And thank you, Maui Delights. That means a lot to me. I don't know what it is, but the things that I have heard over the last, let's just call it all of 2019. Guys, I am talking about the literal bad apple in the bunch. How many times have you heard people say that they are swearing off blank because of blank? Okay. And what I'm referring to is that I have seen people come to me this week and say, I am no longer taking any returns because this one person burned me for such and such item. I am not taking returns at all because of that. And I've even had one person come to me and say, I had somebody scam me on eBay for $50, so I don't sell on eBay anymore. And I must stress this, do not let one customer, two customers, three customers affect the way that you operate your entire business, okay? That one bad apple might be your very first customer. You guys want to know something funny? The first item I sold on Mercari, I got a 4-star feedback. It is my only 4-star feedback across all of eBay and Mercari. My only one. And I could have looked at that and said, you know what? Screw Mercari. I'm not selling on there. I don't like the customers. I don't like the experience that I'm having with them. But that's not the reality of e-commerce. That's not the reality of life. Okay? How many of us out there have bad ex-boyfriends? Bad ex-girlfriends? Did we all swear off people? Did we say, oh, I'm not going to date anymore? I'm not going to do any of that? Because I had that one bad experience? No. We brush it off and we say, okay, we learn from that experience. We say, okay, that situation happened. It was a unique situation. And now I know what to avoid. And maybe I learned something along the way to better protect myself in the future. One of our origin members, one of our oldest members on our Bolorama page, Jane, had posted up her grievances regarding returns. She said, I've taken more returns in 2019 than I've taken any year historically. And I said, what have you done on your end? Are you changing your inventory? Are you changing your selling habits? Are you changing your policies? What is happening to cause this? And she said it wasn't really any of that. None of those things had happened. And then I told her, I have taken just as many returns, if not more, or not necessarily taken, but I've had them sent my direction. But all of 2019, you know how many people I paid out? 3. And all 3 of those I can sit back and say, it was my fault. And I can provide a better consumer experience in the future. Just like with the real life world outside your door. Okay. The laws that we have governing our land, governing our social economics, everything. Those laws are there, but they only count if you know what they are. Okay. They only mean something if you're able to use them to your benefit. The same thing rings true on eBay and Amazon and Posh, Mercari, Etsy, wherever. If you don't understand the terms and the rules and the regulations that are in place to protect you as a seller, then you know what's going to happen? You're going to be the victim every time. And you will get consistently victimized by people who are looking to game the system. But if you're smarter than the system, because you know all of the rules and you know how to protect your account and you know how to detect when somebody's trying to do something wrong, okay? And even if that involves reaching out to a mentor or an expert, as long as you have access to the tools to be able to protect yourself, just like in the real world, you're going to be able to protect yourself online too, okay? Don't make yourself vulnerable to these type of attacks from bad sellers, and don't change the way that you do your entire business just because some jackass decided to return an empty box to you. It's going to happen. It doesn't matter where you come from or what you do. And on that note too, don't swear off categories, okay? I deal with Funko Pops. Okay, the gentleman that was in here earlier is somebody who's looking to do a bulk buy on the remainder of my Funko Pops. Those of you who watch my training video know that I spent $4,300 on that buy, and I've made about $6,000 back. I'm $1,700 up so far. He's interested in buying the remainder of my stock at $3,400, and the dead stock sitting there is currently about $9,600 in value. I've countered at $4,500 because it'll get me to the price point that I feel good on doing this. But when I think about Pops is easily one of the most annoying, disgusting, and frustrating categories to work with that I've ever had to deal with. But it also comes with the highest level of velocity that I've ever dealt with in e-commerce as well. Items move fast as all hell, but the customers are exceptionally finicky and rude, mind you. They're exceptionally rude. There's something about the comic geek culture sometimes, not always, okay? You see it at conventions. There's a lack of civility that can occur, and it can make it very difficult to work with certain types of personalities. Am I going to swear off Pops? Am I going to swear off collectibles and comics and cards? I did $1,000 in collectibles this week. Am I going to swear it off completely? No. I'm going to get smart about what I'm doing. I'm going to learn how to deal with these types of customers, learn how to deal with this type of market. I'm going to adapt to these types of things that I have to deal with so I can continue to be successful moving forward. The economy is constantly going to be changing, okay? Just because we're in a strong economy, just because we end up in a weak economy, doesn't mean that your bottom line should be affected. Don't let one bad apple change the way that you live your life, not just the way you do your business. Don't let that X be the reason why you're a mean and rude person today. Okay? There's good people out there. It's your job to make sure that you find them and you circle yourself with them. Get rid of the toxic people, whether in your business or your personal life. You're better than that, okay? You guys got this, okay? Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Let's take a look at some of these comments before we get off air. Again, I want to thank all of our admins and all of our patrons and our newest patron, Melanie. I really appreciate your name is going to be in the credits tonight, even if you're not in the comments, because I still don't know where you're at, unless you happen to be Maui Delights, and then I just don't know. But thank you to the 43 of you who sat through my outro. It does mean a lot to me when you listen to our final thoughts. Let's take a look at some of these comments here. I look at it as a way to sharpen up your customer service. Yes, get sharp, get strong. Fight those returns. Guys, I don't talk often about resolutions and return resolution issues, but you have a lot more power than you realize. We have, and the reason I do this is because a lot of our paid services trend into that. You know, we deal with some high profile clients. It's about $100 an hour, but we get on the phone and we make these phone calls and we get the resolution that people are seeking. You know, if you have a return that's $1,000 return, and you pay somebody $150 to keep it from happening, it's pretty damn well worth it. So again, look into paid help when necessary, whether it me or someone else that you trust. Let's see. Thank you. Great info. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Ashley. Yes, I will stick with the affection I get from my pug, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Guys, this has been this Sunday Reseller Roundup for January 12th. Yes, January 12th, 2020. This has been a great show. Again, thank you everyone who took the time to be here tonight. It's been a ton of fun, and I will be back next Sunday. We're going to be doing the same thing. Hopefully I'll have time to get the videos recorded. Hopefully I'll be feeling a little bit better. Hopefully your sales will be prosperous over the next 7 days. Make sure you tell me down in the comments your favorite part of the show, and leave us a little love, leave us a little like. It goes a long, long way. Thank you as always for tuning in, guys, and I look forward to meeting more of you through Patreon over the next month or two. I especially look forward to meeting more of you at eBay Open. Guys, remember, if you don't make that money, someone else will. Have a great night.